Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the show today. Of course, welcome to Bugbear's Basement, where we continue on the Iron Pass session 16. And I am Bugbear. Don't you know?
There you go.
Don't you know?
Don't you
Oh,
know?
Chinodor.
Yeah. But nevertheless, we're going to be getting back into this. First things first, we always want to go and say hello to everybody. Hello, girls.
Hey.
All right. Yeah.
And that would include Lady Moon too, but
No, absolutely
no.
not. No. She is
Oh,
Lady
oops.
Moon.
Oh, that is true. She is Lady Moon.
Yeah. She
Well,
is.
hello.
She's older than me. Yeah. So
I don't think that's even possible, Chester.
it is.
I
It is.
I think she's eternally young, like a fairy.
I was doing something the past couple of days I haven't done in like forever. I did it right
Not
before I
your
came on
family?
with you guys, actually. I was washing dishes.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
you don't have a dishwasher?
Yes. Her name is Junko.
I knew it. I was waiting for it.
That's funny. I figured, with I don't know, like all the fancy like appliances and stuff, that there'd have to be an amazing talking dishwasher or something.
I
Actually,
thought
the
you had a
Japanese.
robot
No,
that
well,
did
the
it.
Japanese don't do dishwashers, oddly enough. They don't. But then again, the way they don't really produce dishes like Westerners do, and I certainly
Mm.
don't. Because when I cook, I clean at the same time. So when I'm done and I'm putting food on a table or setting up, there are no dishes to do, right?
I
That
just
makes
thought you meant like you lick your plate
sense.
and just
No.
put it
So
back in the shelf.
so I actually
The
do wash
cabinet.
dishes every lunch because I make my own lunch. Now I could put my
Sure.
secretary on it, but it seems inappropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. But I was
Yeah, I
just
would
doing
say
I was
so.
doing dishes. But yeah, my wife's been in Tokyo the past couple of days. She'll be back today sometime.
That's that's right. I have you heard from her? Is she enjoying her trip up there with friends?
She is, I guess. I got an email. Oh, not an email. I got like a phone thingy.
Text
Line.
message?
Yeah. No, well, yeah. With a bunch of pictures, and of course you have all the ladies, the young ones, and even a couple of young ones, and they're just attacking Tokyo. So cool. I'm glad I don't have to manage the money because I would hate to look at those receipts. But
Mhm.
this is why you marry an accountant and an economics major, GOP.
Well, that is good to know.
It
Good to
is.
remember for
Just
future reference.
keep that in
Yep.
mind. You don't have to look at it. uh, that's always the best way. Just don't look at it.
Just
But
a little.
how about you, Melissa? How you doing down there in Florida? Is it getting hot?
Actually, well, it was for a bit, and now we're entering into the thunderstorms every day phase. That
Sure.
kind of cools it down a bit, but you kind of have to stay inside a lot anyway.
That's
Well,
true.
well, it's been cooler for many years now. The last really hot summer I had here in Japan was, oof, almost 20 years ago. So,
Yeah, really. So what's normal for summer where you are?
oh, hot and humid, about
Hot
92%.
and
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So nice and muggy. Sounds like it's not too dissimilar from Florida then.
No, we're at that same what is it? Longitude? Is that the one that goes
Yeah.
horizontal there, GOP?
I believe so.
Yeah, the
And
longitude. Pretty sure.
long.
Yeah. But the same longitude. We're actually where I'm at is kind of more like Mobile or the
Oh,
Panhandle.
Out.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah,
Mm.
so that would be a little bit cooler.
yeah, a little bit. But we just, we are in solar minimum, so it's going to get cooler and cooler here. Hopefully, it doesn't get
Well, this
mini ice age-ish like it did last time.
just a tiny ice age, just a little snow up on the top of the mountain.
Well, that's what anthropologists call it, the mini ice age.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Many ice ages.
yeah. Well, every 400 year, the sun probably has much larger cycles that we don't really know about, but it does have a 400-year one. It's got like that 80-year one. There's a bunch of cycles the sun goes through, but that 400-year
Mm.
one, it goes from, I would imagine, hotter down to cooler. It's not dramatic, but it is noticeable. But we're in that one right now. Though I'm just kind of waiting because we lost with because we know of the cycle from records and things like that, but we don't have the kind of observations that we have now, right? We got satellites and all that
Mm,
kind of stuff. But
true.
One thing I don't like about this particular part of the cycle is what was 2004. The sun went white it went from yellow to white, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm assuming it'll come back, right? Eventually. But I don't like the white sun.
It's kind of strange, isn't it? I thought I'm like, do I just need to like rub my eyes or something, or is the sun a different color
It
now?
is a different color. Yeah, no, this is not a secret or anything. But
Okay.
with the yellow sun, the sky's really blue, right? We had like these beautiful deep blue skies, right? Now everything's white or powder blue. Yeah, it's not pretty, man.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to affect Superman's powers?
No,
I
that's
don't.
the red
That's
sun.
the red sun.
It's
It'd
Oh,
probably make him stronger, I would assume.
Yeah.
But anyway, good to hear that you're not dying from heat stroke. That's good. Hello, GOP.
yes.
Guess
Hi.
any sun affects his powers, really. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Are you married with children yet?
And since the last time we talked
Yeah,
about this
last
about a
week.
few
Yeah,
weeks ago,
yeah.
no change in
I
that
see.
time frame.
I see.
But
There's no
yeah, we did
viable
have.
women in the Illinois area.
You'd be surprised. Um, no. I eventually I'll just I'll come visit you, Chester. That's my plan.
Oh,
And
I
Go
got
find
a
it.
lot. I could
give me
throw
the
a lot of
hookup.
women at you over here.
Yeah. You give me the hookup. That's my whole long-term goal.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
I think you missed the joke, GOP. Like they're smaller over there. He could literally throw them at you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
No, that's fine
Yeah,
too.
yeah, that's
Whatever
fine.
works.
Catch.
You know.
But
Mhm.
yeah, no, it sounds like you younger folk are having a little bit of trouble. There seems to be some kind of discord between you know, the sexes.
That's
Oh
because
Well,
yes.
everyone can't figure out what they are.
It is weird.
It's true.
That could be the problem. Yeah.
Yeah, a little
I
bit.
know there's a lot of people concerned about the fact that, nobody can just, it's so hard to just buy a home in a lot of places since real
No,
estate keeps kind of getting more and more and more expensive and food gets more and more expensive and
I
people are
don't
kind of
know.
like yeah, if you have to have like 5 roommates in one apartment to kind of get by, then how do you hope to raise a family? I know a lot of people are kind of like they're just hoping they can succeed enough that they
Ooh,
can
my
find
hands
someone
up. I
to
have
live
an
with.
answer. I have an answer.
Yeah.
Make more money.
Was
Mhm.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
It's
that's
all about
that's
the
the
money.
It
plan.
doesn't help when the government is inflating the currency like crazy.
Well,
In the
that's true.
meantime.
I haven't had to live out, but I just bought property not too long ago.
Mhm.
That's
good for
In
awesome.
you.
Japan or somewhere
Malta.
else?
Yeah, he's the
Malta.
king
Yeah,
now.
we heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my
He's
wife
the
bought it
king of
really.
Malta now.
So that's her. She got
Did
her
she
little
send you
That's
that?
project.
because you think she's going to outlive you when she won't.
Well,
But
no, the
that's
thing
that
is,
point.
she's seen me do this for the entire time we were together, buy and flip land, property, and stuff like that. She's watched me do it, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I guess she just wanted to try her hand at it. So I was like, all right, got it.
Nice.
Oh.
Well, gotta have money to make money.
You do.
But I'll
No, that
probably
dude, that is the most
yeah.
important statement you've ever made, Puffin.
But I
Most
think
important.
yeah, I'll probably like maybe in a year or two move down to Arizona, get a house down there, and then I'll start looking seriously.
Do they have trains down there?
Yes,
Oh, good.
they've got trains everywhere.
That's good. Well, it's good to hear.
Yeah.
How
I'll
about
throw
you,
a
lady?
wrench
How
in.
you doing
I'll
down
come.
there in Texas?
I'm doing just fine.
Is Texas doing you justice there? Is it good? Is that a good place to live?
Oh, it hasn't been over 97 this week, so yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Nice.
That's good. How are the Mexicalis? How are they?
They're still crossing the border.
Yeah, but I
Mm.
mean, in general, as far as living with, see, I know Puerto Ricans, I know Dominicans, I know Cubans, but I've never met a Mexican in person. But you down there in Texas, they're your neighbors. So I'm assuming, how are they? Are they sociable? Are they friendly? Their food's pretty good.
Actually, a real Spanish person is a great person.
They are warm,
They are.
lovely,
They're
helpful.
loving. They,
Mhm.
like the party.
They got some sexy women, I know that.
But I'm
They
gonna call them the W people are
A lot of criminals.
Abuse the system, like always.
The W people. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me suss on that for a second.
Get a sip of coffee.
The
Suss it.
W people.
The W people. Well, I got
And there is
George-
R.H.
I got the baby Bush,
Yeah, the George W people.
the George W people. Well, what are they?
I
Are
don't
they a
even
certain,
know.
Are they a
Begins.
certain type of
It's like
Mexican that's a
water.
W person? Huh? What?
Yeah,
It's
I don't know.
certain like water. Yeah.
I got to brush off my W impression, which I haven't got to use in years. So
That's fair.
that's all.
Get him out of here.
I don't know.
What they
I don't-
call white folks crackers. These are, backs. W backs. Whatever.
Oh, wetback. Oh, I've heard
There
that
you
before.
go.
Yeah, because they cross the river, the Rio Grande, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah,
Paul walking across a dry creek.
yeah.
Wetback,
Well, I mean,
yeah.
it's clever. It's clever. But that's not a Mexican though. That's an illegal immigrant, right? I mean, it's different,
Okay.
right? No, it's
That's
Oh.
well, one is more specific.
Well,
The-
I don't
the
know
two are
nothing
not-
about it. I always thought it was a term for an illegal immigrant because they came in illegally and got wet on their back because they crossed the river or something.
I thought I thought it was like more of a initially like a Cuban thing.
What? Really? Well, that may be
Really?
true. Yeah, I don't
Huh.
really know, but we do have pejoratives for everybody.
But I could be
Yeah.
wrong. But I thought that was like, at least from what I've heard, I thought that was like the initial thing. But then it just kind of became more
good.
synonymous
it's
with.
already 17 after. Good.
Yeah, I was like, you said the one thing at like 7:16, and I'm like, okay, we're fine, we're fine.
Been
Yeah, no,
15
no.
minutes.
No problem. But
And I said it, not him.
yeah, that's true. But
Well, yeah.
yeah, I don't know what I know. My mother's family are called mix. I don't know what Scandinavians are called. Is there a term for us?
Vikings.
Employed.
Just Vikings? That's not pejorative.
Yeah, it's not at all.
Hi,
Like,
Bob.
okay.
Hello.
How are you?
Just
Sorry,
got back from Canada.
lady took forever. You got back from Kentucky. Why were you there?
No, Canada.
Oh, Canada. Oh, that's worse.
Yeah, that's what I was telling him.
Why
Just
would you
went
go to
for work.
Canada?
But
For
my
work.
dad was
Oh, okay.
playing-
Well, that's acceptable then. Did you dodge the Trudeauisms?
Yeah.
Good.
The only Canadians I was around were people that didn't like Trudeau.
Most of them seem to be that group, actually.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. But, things are starting to get shaken up. We'll see. We'll see. But we're not going to worry about any of that today because we're here to D&D, baby.
Oh,
I think you need to say hello to
yeah.
someone who's in.
I see Rosa.
Physical
Hello,
chat.
Rosa. Hands up. Don't shoot. Okay.
It's great to see you.
Goodness. Satanic.
We're
all
just
right.
some wild and crazy guys.
Yeah, I guess so. Old Steve Martin. Anyway, let's get
Mhm.
into it here. Let me drop over the other side. Lady is in charge of the chat as usual. Okay. So we're in session 16. Boy, it's been a bunch. Well, I think we've kind of fleshed out this world fairly well. At least this piece of this little slice of it. We kind of know what's going on. We've met the movers and shakers and the various characters and stuff like that. We got more to meet. We're kind of shifting into Cragmora now. So we're going to do Cragmora a little bit, and of course they have their own faces and characters to meet as well. But where we left off last time, just to reiterate, we are at the Cage Ruins here. Now, you see Cage Ruins, you see they have this very, very long mountain range that actually goes off the map. It's about 160, 180 mile long mountain range, right? Goes from the southeast to the northwest. And underneath of it, long, long, long ago, tens of thousands of years ago, some culture built this amazing, from the character's point of view, maybe it's more magical, although Honey's character sees it as more mechanical, I would assume. Unbelievable underground city. It's just a stunning achievement of human capabilities. They were driven underground and they were there for a very long time. Now it's basically desolate. There's not a lot in it, but there are certain pockets of things that have come up and come down, right? And in Cage Ruin, they find themselves in a one of the cities. There's 100 of these big giants, 10-mile wide and long cities, and they're in the one that is being called currently Cragmora. Now, was that his original name? Extremely unlikely. Yeah,
That
but
kind of works.
that's what the residents call it here. Now, this is a little bit of an interesting thing has come up, and the party did figure it out. And maybe it was Bill. Hi, Bill. By the way,
Yeah.
Always Bill.
he was being so quiet.
Hi. Hi,
Hey,
Bill.
he's Bill. But Bill Badger's his character's Badger, and Badger is becoming best friend with Timotei's dad, of course, as we know.
Hmm.
Um, but the party is staying at the Hooded Vale here, which is it's an inn, tavern, brothel thing. But then again, pretty much everything in Cragmore kind of falls into this kind of category. It just depends on your level of wealth. But he went around because he found out that the Deathspeakers here are. Are actually the ones who run the city, and they use the Thieves Guild to manage it, right? So it's kind of like Teamsters in a way, or like a mafioso. And Bill's got himself in, and they know everything about what he thinks and what he wants, but they don't care. But he does have skills. He's very high level, as these guys are. So they see him as being useful. Now, the Death Speakers are interesting to the party in more than one way. Not just the fact that they run Cragmora, but they are clearly the ones who've been in league with our very nasty, ugly little hag named Dared. And I do have her picture here. It's been a while. There we go. Dared the hag. And now they were able to push Dared and her coven out. You killed two of her sisters, I think. Yes.
We did.
Almost
And
had her.
you
So
almost
close.
had her. She slipped away, and they went on a little bit of a mission, recon, and they found that she's actually with the green elves, who are something's wrong with them. No one knows
Oh,
really
yeah.
what's up with them, but they've gone cannibal, and they, of course, dealing with hags, and it's a lot of nonsense. But something's going on with that, and they know the Death Speakers are involved in it, so this is their curiosity. And like I said, there's no surprise here because these guys are telepaths, and they read, well, probably everybody's mind, to be honest with you. But they don't seem to care. So whatever their machinations are, they see you as little threat to it. Now, maybe
Would
that's hubris, and they'll find themselves in trouble for that, but it is what it is. Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
Hi, David.
I'll wait till you finish your expose.
Oh yeah, well, I'm just trying to catch this up. Now,
Yeah.
basically, the Death Speakers, the prince of the city here, his name is Rathig. He came and met with them. Extremely regal individual. Keep in mind the Death Speakers are necromancers, really, but they also have psionicists amongst them. And their society is kind of a weird one where people, when they're born, they live these lives of incredible decadence and luxury, and then when they die, they were turned into some manner of undead to serve the population. Some of them are just simple zombie labor. Others are far more sophisticated versions of undead. Nevertheless, that's their society and how it works, and they are kind of curious what's going on here in the West, because who knows how long they've been up to that. Nevertheless, they met with the prince, and the prince has hired Badger. He signed a contract, and he joined the Thieves Guild here of Cragmora. Therefore, this is his direct hire boss. This guy is the boss of the city, and his mission for Badger is very simple. His sister, his wayward sister, he wants brought back to the fold. But she is, as far as in his opinion, what he said to you, she is being manipulated and conned by the snake oil utterings of Baron Fedskith, who he doesn't like very much, is quite clear.
Yeah.
And
They
and
seem pretty neutral about everything, but don't like him.
No, they are very much emotion controlled. This group, anyway.
Mm.
Their society, the living people, do live incredibly decadent, and luxurious lives, so they're probably full of emotion. But these guys particularly are just a dearth of emotion. But nevertheless, that's where we left it. Go ahead, Bill.
Um, so we are in front of the prince and
You
the
are.
Death Speaker Justicars. Okay. And we've essentially just gotten our marching orders, but we don't have any information beyond that.
Not yet, right? That was the cliffhanger. Okay.
Okay. Now, what the
So you
question
would,
I had though too
Yeah.
was just so when we were dealing with the hag, our artificer created devices that would keep that were they a psychic in right nature, like would they put up a psychic shield to prevent the hag from entering your dreams or invading your mind?
effectively, but of course is being described magically, not psionically.
Okay.
I
So we
mean, as
don't.
far as game mechanics, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that meta part, I mean, how much of that I don't really know what Badger would know. So, okay,
I'm sure I'm going to third edition it again.
There you go.
For it.
As you will. Okay. So, thanks. I just wanted to bring those back up, but I can see that it's apples and oranges.
It impacts. I'm going to assume impacts magical effects that specifically affect dreams, and there you go. Then nothing else gets affected.
Yeah,
because that would be specific for the hags.
That was specific magic for hag dream magic. It was a very specific
Yeah.
thing, and it won't relate here. You're
Because
going
they
to
don't
have to
have
approach
the-
this in a different way. Now,
All
keep
I
in
have to say
mind,
to that is Shucky darn.
yeah, well, this entire conversation has been happening from the prince to Badger directly. Of course, he is a capable orator, so he did acknowledge the rest of the room as an orator would. But he's speaking to Badger. Therefore, Badger would be the one to respond because his last words were, "Bring my sister home." Or something.
As you
Yeah.
wish, my lord.
Well, you have no information. Are you going to ask questions?
Oh,
I thought that's what his second in command were for, all that kind of stuff.
Well,
My lord, I assume that she lives in the Corrodeville, whatever we are.
Cragmora.
Roadville.
Cragmora.
Feel a pinch in that you think you just had an aneurysm in the back quarter of your brain.
That's just Chester.
Oh, it's Chester. It's not the prince.
Oh God.
My lord, does she live at the Baron's? She's currently residing with the cursed Baron, his residence.
He says, "Well, this is information that you can get from the accountant. I'm sure my Justicars will direct you in the right direction." He bows his head and he steps back through the void portal.
I gotta say, he was cute, says the little gnome girl.
You get 5 little aneurysms in your brain.
I'm stroking out now. Goodbye.
Yeah. Now the Justicars take a step forward after he leaves. They raise their head for the first time, and they give you a location of the accountant, which is in the city. It's in the rich area where you guys were the other day. And they bow their heads and leave the room.
Already?
Hmm.
Cool. So
No Achilles heel. No nothing, huh?
And
Okay,
they said,
fine.
talk to the accountant. Now, of course, I know everyone's going to do the mission, but keep in mind, this is Badger's mission. He did suggest, the prince did suggest that it would be useful that all of you, if all of you were helping, because you are quite capable, he said. But once again, this is Badger's responsibility. So you guys need to have that little bit of conversation. So go.
well, Badger,
Yeah,
you've
get back to us.
certainly
Then
made
get
a lot
back to us
of
first.
What did you?
interesting friend.
What,
We're all
what,
I
together.
don't know.
what's
Please,
I had a
everybody,
stroke.
go back.
I'm sorry. Go
Everyone,
ahead.
stop
One at a
once.
time.
Okay. Well, Badger, you seem to have made a lot of interesting friends recently.
Oh well, I do what I do when I do it, and I definitely stepped in the do this time.
That's one way to put it. Well, I mean,
If you would mind getting off the table and coming down and talking to me, put on a shirt,
I
I could take you seriously.
I step off my high horse and speak man to man. Um, well, why don't you is there? So I mean, I guess you're going to speak to an accountant. This is interesting turn of events, but as much as you can annoy me sometimes, I'm not keen on letting my party members go off on their own. So, and I,
You are just
Party
so incredibly
member?
gracious, Tater.
I am. I really am. You should be
Thank you for
happy.
your benevolence is
Yep.
truly too much. Go back to dancing now.
You know you're better when you're a bastard.
Right. But no, I'm like out of
This is
character.
to further our mission, so let's not forget.
Yeah,
Which,
and
of
I'm
course, the Death Speakers are now completely aware of everything because they savaged my mind and they looked deep within my soul and saw every thought that has gone through my brain. Though it did not take them long, which unfortunately doesn't surprise me and leaves me feel a little empty. It does say breach any kind of security that we did have, but it also kind of breaks the veil, as so to speak. I mean, their intrusion into Iron Pass and the the Velusian kingdom, it was really not so much an act of war, but just a cold war, I would suppose. Information.
Yeah. Well, it's the Thysian kingdom. Although I do like the
Thysian.
name of the Velusian kingdom. You should write that down. That's a good one. Um,
Okay.
yeah, write that down. But you don't really know what's going on with that. But you do know they have some hand that has been played in it. And you also don't know the length of time, because keep in mind, the green elf thing has been going on from long before the Westerners came into Iron Pass.
True. So, like I said, it may not necessarily have to do with us, with the Thysian kingdom, because of the. Well, anyways, it's kind of that's not really. Don't really have enough information there to make a call, but that's the point of this, right? Was to get that information.
Hmm. That is
Yeah.
kind of a side mission for you guys, yeah.
So, I say, excuse me, I need a drink. We take our dungeon delving to the next level to pilfering lords and ladies.
Well, I'm always down for more fun.
That doesn't mean what do you think it means, Puffin?
What do you mean?
He likes buffering.
Yes, I know.
What?
I know that was the joke, lady.
I know.
But anyway, you guys been told to go to the accountant, and you know the street it's on, and you can just find the address. This place is set up like any other town. You
Okay.
know, because this is a high fantasy world that we live in. So there's a lot of medieval, fantastical, magical things. But time wise, it's probably more mid 19th century, really, as far as the practicality of how magic is being applied. There are street lights that are powered by magic, or in some places like here, powered by gas. Right? There are mechanical things all over the place. People have guns. It's rare, but they do exist. There are mechanical limbs and various things like that. So it is a high fantasy, but it is kind of more 19th century as far as convenience.
A little bit
Nevertheless,
of a steampunk feel in some places.
yes, especially here in Cragmora. It definitely is more steampunky here than it would be in Iron Pass. But nevertheless, so finding the accountant should be very simple thing.
All right. Well, anybody else have any questions, or are we all on board with this?
I mean, it seems like it doesn't seem, it's not the most morally questionable thing I've done. Is just trying to talk some sense into someone, and I don't see the harm in it.
Hi,
Well,
Eric.
I guess
Hi, Eric.
that's something we
Hey,
could
Eric.
look. I mean, starting from here, it seems that way. But
As if
how? What are we
yeah.
going to do to achieve these goals?
Right, because to reiterate, honey, one of your sideline goals. Remember, you came here basically to level up. You know, and met in as far as the metagame. That's why you came to Cage Ruins, right? But your ultimate goal is to find out exactly what Darred the Hag is up to and to defeat her, so that she is not a threat to Iron Pass anymore. That's your goal, right? That's been your goal for quite a while. And you do know that these deaf speakers or veil walkers or whatever they call themselves, they call themselves the deaf speakers, but you've heard other names for them. They are somehow linked to Derrid. So there
Mhm.
is information to be gained.
Right. And we also know that they don't like her. So
Well, yeah, those guys didn't seem to care for her at all. You're right.
But the fact that they all know each other is the key point to take out of that.
The fact that if we do this and we're successful, we have a in with the prince if it ever comes to Iron Pass being destroyed or whatever.
We don't really know.
If a war
We,
comes to that.
we aren't really sure what his. I mean, we just know that he's hiring our rogue because he's strong and he's they've got their own motivations.
I'm
We don't
sorry,
know
the
if they
rogue
would.
is what?
Well,
Green Ranger?
Farming?
high
Strong. Who
level. We're
said?
all
Did you
high
hear him?
level.
He said,
We're all.
"I'm
Hey, I'm
strong."
talking out of character. My out of character self has has no problem with complimenting your character. All right.
Tater
Tater would
admires
not.
me. He admires me.
Yes,
He
Tater
called me
would not.
strong. So
Yes, that's not Tater.
I'm dressed and ready to go. Let's go,
Yes,
folks.
let's move. Let us continue on.
well, I think we should probably understand that I'm in charge.
Oh my.
Okay, when it comes to the accountant. So let's keep our heads in that game. I mean, we're definitely play to our strengths and how we always have done things, but we just don't want to look inefficient.
We'll follow your lead.
Okay,
We're your
you heard,
friends.
you guys heard him, right? He said he'd follow me. All right, okay, let's go.
He does not
Yeah.
mean me.
All
Oh,
right.
I follow you anywhere.
Party dynamics. All right, you guys head out into the morning of Cragmora, and of course we are underground, but there is this fake sun above you that does kind of crawl across the city in an appropriate way. And you guys are way to the south though, so your light is always kind of southerly, right? But there are these kind of gas lamps on the street that burn most of the hours of the day, to be honest with you. But as you come out into the morning, because it is early morning, well, maybe it's a little late for most of the people here, but we'll say it's 8 o'clock. And this place is bustling and busy, particularly in the area of town you are in. This is where most of the business takes place. The more west you go, the more agricultural it becomes. But people are just, moving around with all kinds of packages and little wagons moving on these cobbled streets. And occasionally, cobbles give away to the original surface, which are these beautiful, large, monolithic stones underneath of the various
Mm.
efforts of previous occupants. The one thing about the people here in Cragmora, as you've been here, they've been here a few days now, right? As you notice, they're very colorful, more colorful than the people of Iron Pass, but they seem to function very similar to Iron Pass. They facilitate on this end the adventurers coming in. That's what they do. It's very
Yeah.
similar to Iron Pass. This is just more a raunchy version of it, right? Less family oriented, even though there are kids running around here. You travel down the road. It takes a little bit, of course. You pass by the big slave market, which is already getting ready. You see an auctioneer getting ready as you pass by the slave market. I do have a picture. I don't know if I showed it. Let me just, yeah, you pass by the slave market here, and you guys head over to Bloom Street. And you follow the street signs and the various numbers on the buildings, and sure enough, you're sitting outside of a building, and it says, not the accountant though. It
No.
says on it, um, bills of lading and cargo receipts. It's like the most generic, boring name you've ever seen in your life.
It has Bill's name on it.
Oh shit! Yes, yes, it does.
I must own this place.
Yep.
Yep. This is
Uh,
Bills of
mine now.
lading and cargo receipts.
Although my last name is not Layden anymore.
Hmm.
So this is basically a dock office if we had a dock, right? This is a cargo office is what it is. And you come
Yeah.
in and there's people coming in and out. It's quite busy. It's a larger building. It's not like the buildings here are particularly small, but this one is large. And as you're coming in, you see off to the side that there are large, covered cargo warehouse entrances open to the front and back. And there are cargo docks in there, and it's very busy. This place is busy. There's a lot of stuff going on all the time here. Nighttime things kind of settle down into more of a revelry, however. But as you come in, you see there's a whole bunch of clerks behind on a high counter behind, like a little, uh, you know, metal bar window coverings to keep people from reaching through and grabbing a clerk who might irritate someone or another. There's people in line, and there's all kind of commotion going on in here. You see off to the left-hand side, there is a row of what seems like offices. Of course, we don't have glass here, but there is a half wall with a gate in it that separates this area from that area. And of course, off to the right, at the end of the queue of all these clerks, is a large open door that goes into the cargo dock and the cargo area beyond. What do you want to do?
Mm.
I'll start strolling towards the offices.
Okay. And as you come up to the little, it's a half wall gate, right? It's kind of like a garden gate. It's all made of wood. It's quite beautiful. Everything in this has very nice. You notice about the town, the outside is a mix of some really nice built stuff and just kind of ramshackle stuff. But most of the places you've gone into in the inside, they're pretty nice. You don't know where they get all the wood from, seeing as you haven't seen trees down here. But there is a lot of wood finishing in these various buildings you've been in. Nevertheless, you come up and a very small, kind of mousy girl walks up to you. She snaps to with her heels together and she says, "How may I help you this morning, sir?"
Aw.
So, good morning. Young or old, you said?
She's very young. Yeah,
Young lady.
she's probably an apprentice.
Aw.
The Lord Prince Raytheon has sent me to meet with the accountant.
Um,
Uh,
um, I don't know who Lord Prince Rataya? No, I don't know what that is, but I do know the accountant. And she perks up and she points over her shoulder. Well, she turns her body and points with the left hand,
what?
and you see a guy sitting up top, kind of on a elevated area at a desk doing work, and he looks like fantasy accountant as well, or an architect.
Hmm. Okay. I'll start heading that way.
She guides you. I'm assuming everybody's following, or is some of you staying back, or what are you guys doing?
I follow. I have no
I
reason not
follow
to.
riding the dog.
No, no dogs allowed in the building.
I've been riding
No.
the dog everywhere.
Uh, you do have a guard says, tie it outside. You do see there are places for a few horses.
Sit, boy, be good.
Puffin,
All
what you
right.
doing?
I'll I'll watch the dog just so nobody, it's like, hey, free dog.
Okay, so you're going to stay out and watch the dog. Amy, Melissa.
I guess we go in.
I
Okay,
suppose.
okay. You guys follow in, and she guides you up, and she snaps to, and she bows to the accountant. She says, "Sir, there are people here to see you, sent by Prince Rockybot." She looks over at you, and she said,
Raytheon. He's
That
a
is good.
defense contractor.
Yes, that will do.
he kind of
Thank
raises
you.
an eyebrow at it, and he kind of just moves his hand for you to have a seat. There aren't enough seats for everyone. There's only two. But I'm assuming Badger takes one of them.
Mhm.
Okay, and his name is Rathig, by the way. Just I put
Graphic.
it's a pretty cool name.
The
It
princess
is.
or the accountant?
Okay.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
The accountant looks up at you, and he
Bites you.
says, "Indeed, the prince did tell me that you were going to come. I would suggest not throwing his name around. The majority of people in this town who aren't affiliated with the," and he puts a hand sign up. No, he's part of
Mm.
the Thieves Guild, or this is more like a Teamsters, right? He says, "Aren't really aware. It's probably better to keep him and any of the Deathspeakers themselves to yourself."
Noted. Thank you.
No, very well. We don't know until we are told. So, the prince wishes you to recover his sister.
Yes.
Yes, I've been told to give you as much help as I can. This little spat between the royal siblings has been going on for quite a while. She has her own ideas of how to run things, and she seeks, how should I put this subtly? She seeks to rule the world. Yes,
Okay.
yes. Well, the prince is quite happy just doing as his father had instructed him, and to run Crag Mora. And he does fairly good job about it. I'm quite impressed with the young man. Although call him a young man, he's probably older than me. Well, anyway, but the sister is troublesome. But the bond of blood is real, and he wishes his sister to be safe and with him, even though it would probably be better for him to simply cut her loose. But
Mm.
he is the boss, so
And therefore,
therefore, the little princess, she has her own kind of ideas about things. She is unlike her brother, who's well, most men of the Aji, and he kind of looks at himself. You could tell he's just a normal human. He's not a death speaker, right? But
mhm,
he says amongst their kind, the men tend to be psionicists. I know this is something you're probably not completely aware of, although I am sure you've had your experience with it.
it's unnerving. Yes.
And the women are the necromancers. And the thing about it, and he kind of brings up a lithograph, and he puts it out of the princess. Here you go. Um, uh, Princess Belith is a very accomplished necromancer. And
Hmm.
one of the things she does that causes a lot of trouble and consternation for her brother, and I would not know the king's opinion on such, I have never met him. She's always trying to do one clever scheme after another, and she seems to be reaching beyond the 100.
What is the 100?
I told you this before. It's what they refer
Raise my
to as
hand.
this
I know what
gigantic
it is.
city. Go ahead,
Yeah.
lady.
She raised his hand. Psst, all the towns underground, under the mountain. That's
That's
the
right.
100.
They call it the 100. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
the modern denizens of I call it the 100. The ones that are aware, and you guys have become aware. You actually learn more in a short time than a lot of people who have lived and died underground. Nevertheless,
Mm.
she's always up to something, and she's been up to something recently, and this is irking her brother. I'm going to assume there's some inner pressure coming from his father. I do not know. But the prince is forever forgiving of his sister's dalliances. As you can tell, I have less patience. Nevertheless, bringing her back will be difficult because I'm sure she has no interest whatsoever in being this. What was her term for it? This podunk backwater.
Mm.
Yes.
Charming.
So good luck with that. And of course, she has her other feminine wiles, as most of the women do. And he kind of looks past Badger, and no offense, ladies. And he says, but she has been, how do the young people say, shacking up with the Baron for quite a while. Now, the Baron is very unique and rare thing amongst their society. He is a male, but he is not a scientist. He is a necromancer, and he may
Mhm.
well be one of the most powerful necromancers that they have. Thedskith is an extremely dangerous man. He has his claws in the young princess, and she is incredibly enamored with him. And I don't know that the various things she's doing are her own machinations or his. But understand that he is the threat, but she will not go willingly. So, how do you find her? Because that is what you need to know, right?
Yes, that's one
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Well, she is not here in the city of Cragmora, but she is in the city. Now, you've only been here a few days, so you don't really know how things operate. This is one of the major delves left. There are some to the north, but those are uh, they are kind of more like a big game hunter. You pay a lot of money and you get taken into various places. This place was untouched until very recently. Because keep in mind, with Cade coming down, he entered into an area of the city that was really kind of the outskirts. The main part of the city is far to the north, but
Mm.
nevertheless, um, uh, in this city there are still many vaults and dangerous stuff to interact with, and therefore a lot of the seasoned veteran adventurers come into Cragmora. You've seen them, you've walked past them on the streets, and what they do is they pay a fee, and they are allowed into the greater city to the north. This is why we only live in this strip, because the rest of it is untamed, as it were. So there's a lot of motion and activity and dangers in the city to the north. And it seems the princess has found herself a little bit of a hold somewhere. We don't know exactly where, but I can direct you to people who might be able to help with that answer. He brings up another lithograph and puts it next to the one he showed you earlier. And he says that this is the only image I have of her hold. I would say it looks like a temple of some kind, or who knows with this structure, it could be some kind of mechanical device. I don't really know. But as you see, it's not friendly to our kind.
Hmm.
However,
Can I
Okay.
see? Oh,
I'm showing you.
or am I just standing stoically in the background looking tough?
Well, that is your job.
Okay.
But no, of course he's showing you lithographs, and everyone's able to see them. These are, we do have a steampunky touch going on here, but these aren't little teeny modern photographs. These are gigantic, like 8 by 11 lithographs, right?
Hmm.
So you can see them very clearly. You have the princess with some kind of undead behind her. This is a portrait, actually. This is a lithograph, a magically created lithographic copy of an actual portrait. And this is a magical lithograph taken with a device that I'm sure Honey would be absolutely overjoyed to get her hands on to investigate how it functions. But it's something that's actually able to take a still image anywhere.
Ooh. Does she want to figure
Well, it
out
would be
where?
even more fancier if it was like, Harry Potter and the picture became active in that loop or something.
Well, let's
Well, I
assume
hear
it
you.
does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I
Oh,
hear
Now,
you
let's
can
assume it
take
does
pictures
then.
of
Okay.
things, but I
now,
also hear it'll steal your soul.
It might
So
now
well. Might.
is that lithograph on the depicting like a mass of writhing zombies or piles of skulls?
These are skeletons.
Are
Movie
they in motion
skeleton.
or
So
are they just covered in
They
cobwebs
are
inside?
reaching toward the people walking up the center of
Okay, good.
the
Uh,
stairwell. Yes. But
Beautiful.
this is the only image, and this was recovered by an adventurer. Weren't sure what it was, but we were able to identify who owned the lithographic absorber. Let's call it that. And therefore, we know where and what this was. We don't know where it was, though, but we did find the camera. Of course, that's what it is, camera. But nevertheless, um, you need to know where to get where they are, and I don't know this, but I can direct you towards some people who might. And with that, he brings out three more lithographs, and he shows you the images of these people. Now he says these individuals are confidants of the princess. I don't know what they may or may not know, but if you want to find where she is, these are the best. This is the best chance you have. Is these three? You have Waiton. Now Waiton is one of her own people, and he is literally a confidant. It seems they went to school together. I don't know the entirety of their relationship, but Waiton is someone that she often, because the princess makes a lot of mistakes,
Oh
but she's a
dear.
princess and is never really punished for it. But she always goes back to Waiton and cries on his shoulder. Now, Waiton is right here down the street. And he kind of points with his hand. It's up the street. There is a grand hotel at the end of the street here. It's called the Cragmore Inn, but it is more of a hotel than it is an inn. And a lot of visiting dignitaries from the Deathspeakers, and I apologize for using that term. We don't really know what they call themselves. They've refused to tell us. But Deathspeaker is the term we use, and they seem fine with it. But a lot of the dignitaries will stay in this hotel. It's designed specifically for that. Matter of fact, the prince himself is at the top floor. But Waiton would be certainly someone to talk to. He is probably her closest confidant. There is another, which I don't understand the connection, the skink. I don't know her real name. But she is a part of, and once again, he puts his hand up, the guild. And but she is a rogue, and there is actually a bounty on her head of. He said he digs through some papers and he pulls it up. $100,000 bounty on her head. So there might be some profit in you. He winks at you. But she has some weird connection to the princess. I'm not sure what it is, but I have all my spy network has very clearly shown this connection. They meet up often when she is in town, although it's been a while. But whatever this connection is to this skink or whatever her real name is, the princess does trust her and has some connection. That is up to you. And once again, if you capture her, she is worth $100,000. And last but not least, be careful with this one. Dandelion. Dandelion is an orc who lives in the city. He pushes an address forward to you. This is way down, way. This is like 8 miles away from where you guys are, down in the agricultural area. She's a half orc, and as you can see, she doesn't have much in the way of shame.
Hmm.
she is a mighty warrior. She's an adventurer who came here long, long ago and has just set up residence and lives and occasionally goes into the ruins and just is a wealthy, successful adventurer. But the princess does have some interaction with her. I do believe that the princess has always enjoyed the gambling, and Dandelion does as well. I don't know if there are other things that they are doing together, but nevertheless, this is someone she trusts with her life. This I do know. But
So,
Dandelion is wild.
quick question, Chester. My character gambles and is off, like, as part of his, downtime activities.
Mhm.
Would he have run across her at any point, or no?
Dandelion, you've just arrived to
No, that's
Cragmore
true.
3 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been here for years. But she's a half orc. She's a very successful warrior. She's shameless. You can see she's not even wearing a shirt, right? They're
Hmm.
just covering it with her hair. She is a barbarian, but she's very successful adventurer here. She's well known to be a gambler and a tough. And the princess is rather enamored with her, not only for the fun that she has going out and gambling, because the princess money is a bit infinite, isn't it? Isn't it? But she also seems to have some sexual attraction to Dandelion.
All right.
That's his assumption. And he said a few things here. His spy network he's mentioned twice. So that's what he is. The accountant is the spy master for the Dream Speakers.
Oh, okay.
He's
Now,
the he's the spider.
is the
Yeah.
spy network kind of the same
Think
thing
the
as
little
the
birds
road?
have been speaking to him.
No, spy network. Of course, he's a part of the guild, as
Oh,
Badger is. But his job is the collecting and you know assessing of information that's brought in for
okay.
the bosses, which are the Dream Speakers. It's his job. He's a spy master.
Okay.
He's George Papa Bush when he was in charge of the CIA.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
It's always been weird that he was the boss of the CIA. It just doesn't fit, does it?
Nope, not at
Yeah.
all.
Nevertheless,
Ugh.
that's what he is. He's
That's
spy
that's because
master.
he has a great cover.
No, the dude's a perfect boss of it. You would never know. You wouldn't suspect him. Yeah. Anyway, that's the information that the accountant has to give you as far as what he can think of. You can, of course, ask him any question. This whole time, he, unlike the prince, was not speaking to Badger because it was a political reason why he was doing that. He's talking to all of you, right? So if anybody has any questions or anything you want to know regarding the princess, this is the time to ask.
Okay. Um, I suppose I would wonder, has did her temper sour, let's say, sometime when she came to know this Baron? Or has, in your opinion, she's always been a little, um, maybe not ambitious in the best way?
She's a spoiled brat.
I see.
She is nothing
With
like her
Um,
brother.
mm,
and since she has infinite resources and incredible power, it's a most dangerous agent to be loose. So the prince wants her
True.
mm.
I mean,
secured.
and keep in mind, she's not the most powerful of all time, although the Baron is maybe. But she is very capable necromancer, though,
Right,
Right.
and she's got lots of money.
and she got
That's right.
all the money she needs. Yeah,
So that's trouble. What is the was it Wheaton or Wetton's
Wheaton.
relation?
Wheaton.
Beaten.
Mhm.
no Wetton.
Wetton's
Wheaton?
If I wanted to
relationship
be
to
Wheaton, I would have put a W and
is
an
that not a
H.
W?
It's
Okay.
That is
What
W.
relationship to Fedskith? How do they get along?
Fedskith. Honestly, I don't know that I don't have any information from my network of him having any interaction with any of the three. Fedskith came here about a year ago,
Hmm.
and he was at the hotel, the Cragmore Inn, the one that Wetton is in, and he was just a visiting dignitary. He's not part of the city. He's not part of the mechanics or the operation or the or anything. He just showed up, which he's a baron. He has his rights. And of course, at that time, the princess, she runs around here and there, disappears for days occasionally. I often have to have put some chunk of the network on following and observing her, which is always a waste of my time. Nevertheless, she does love her balls, and they have many of them within the inn. She enjoys her dancing and her beautiful dresses. And the Baron, as he once again brings the lithograph back up, is not what you would assume to be an attractive man, but he has some manner about him. And maybe there's some connection to them both, practicing the same art. But he does have his way with the women, oddly enough. And she just became smitten with him. And then about 6 months ago, she has, in effect, disappeared. Although um, she's been seen here about meeting with the three I just told you on one occasion or another. And she also seems to be having, unfortunately, my network was not be able to follow her beyond, but she seems to be doing something in the western area of the Thysians. And I'm told you guys come from the Iron Pass, that new town that popped up. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is it connected to her and like Derek the Hag?
He doesn't know anything about that,
Okay.
but she is doing something out there, and he doesn't know if that is of her own accord or is it the Baron's machination. But she is doing something out there. But and of course, you guys think about when all this trouble started, it kind of lines up, doesn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
So he's a baron, but where is
But
his land?
where's he from?
He's
Yeah,
from
the little
the
gnome has been up waving her hand like she's got a question, ooh, 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 type of thing.
yes, little one.
We know where the Baron is from, actually.
He is from the Deathspeakers kingdom far to the east.
Okay.
We are not aware of many of the operations of their kingdom. We don't even know what they call themselves, as I have said to you already. But there's very few that I know that are not of their kind that have traveled there and, well, returned.
It must be a really nice place.
Well, it might be. I mean, I mean, this guy looks pretty sinister, but do keep in mind what they're doing. It sounds odd to us, but I don't know if it's that bad a deal, right? You spend your life just doing whatever you want, living any way you want, without any worry or concern. And then when you die, depending on your intelligence, your caste, your various things like that, you are put as a worker for the city so that every generation doesn't have to do anything. That's not evil.
Where
Huh.
did this come from?
Kind of slavery.
It is weird. It is weird.
It's
Now, did the prince, did he talk about our incentive? And
Oh yes, yes, compensation. He shuffles through some files that's set in front of him, and he's like, "Oh no, no, no! Ah, here it is. Yes, you, of course, being a member of the guild, will get be able to hold 60% of anything that you do find and you wish to sell anyway. You can keep whatever you want if you like, but you will be given a guaranteed 60% cent sales price, which is quite good. And also, he looks at the others of you. He says that, and according as you as well as you, Badger, you will each receive $1 million.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
oh.
now, is there a bonus incentive too for a certain time frame or for the number of people brought in besides? He didn't really ask for anything
No,
concerning the baron, did he?
uh, no. I would assume he'd prefer he be dead, but he cannot say that outright now, can he?
But
But
do you think there would be an incentive for that?
I don't
I
think
mean,
there would.
and I'm going to sign
He
that
said,
to
"No,
him.
let me stop you right there. When dealing with the Death Speakers, they do not negotiate.
Right. I wasn't talking about negotiation, but and I'm signing to him, but incentive for extra
Yeah, and
accomplishments.
that was his response to you. Yeah, meaning the contract is the contract. There's nothing else.
Oh, they don't add.
No,
Okay, no add-ons,
nothing. Yeah, the
no
contract is the
upsells.
contract. Nothing like that.
Okay.
Now, like I said, anything you guys
I'm
find, you
bored.
can keep whatever you want. But if you do wish to sell, you can sell in the city at a 60%, which is better than you're going to get anywhere else, really. But it's up. You don't have to sell, but that's just an offer, a guaranteed offer. And of course, when someone like GOP,
Mm-hmm.
who would try to upsell that, will get slapped in the head 5-6 times.
For the knife in the back, anyway.
But mainly the incentive is $1 million each,
Ooh, that's
which
insane.
is a
So
nice incentive.
now,
That
as they just thinking in the on our knowledge of Kane's ruins or Kate's ruins, I can't get a name right tonight, so don't be offended.
It's all
So
good.
the maintenance tunnels, we did. Do we have a location of one close by?
You do. You just came from one that had a working avatar, by the way. It's
We
behind
may
you.
have
Right.
to go
But you
back
do.
to
I can
one that's
tell.
working.
Well, the one
Right.
behind you is working. Yeah, you guys.
Yeah.
It wasn't working 100% though. It was kind of
Right.
busted up. You were able to get what you needed out of it. The next closest one to that is working is not far.
Right.
It's just down there and up a couple of levels. So you have to go through some helm horrors, but yeah, it's not far. But nevertheless, I don't know that you need that. Um, that's kind of not the point. But I
Well, I
understand
mean,
your thinking.
yeah. I mean, if we're going to go into unknown the greater part of the city, where we don't have any maps, it would be nice to find a map, right? Or at least some direction. But I'm
Well,
not. I'm
that's
not saying
why
that.
I gave you the 3 people to talk to.
Well,
Yeah.
let's. Do you guys have anything else you want to bring up to the spy master here?
Puffin,
We got no other
GOP.
background on the.
I'm outside.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
he is
Well,
That's right.
outside.
You
That's
are.
true.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, as a player, is there anything you would think of though, Puffin, that we haven't hit on though?
yeah, out of character. Nothing that. I mean, he's given. I'm assuming he would have given us all the information of the 3 contacts
He
that
gives
was
you a file
relevant
that
to
has
us.
all the lithographs and everything in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and information.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't think he would keep any important information from us because he's on our side here.
He is,
So,
Yeah.
in this
and he
particular
also
case.
added to the comment that Badger had said, that as far as timeline, he
Right.
kind of backhand retorts that he doubts that the prince, as far as why were you chosen, right? It's not your knowledge of the 100. We know much more about it than you do. But it's you are capable. He looks around at all of you. You have accomplished a great amount. Obviously, your skill is easy to see. This is valuable, but if you die, so what? You're not important. You're not part of the city. You will not be missed. So why not make the offer? As far as timeline goes, I doubt he considers that you can even do it. But he feels obligated.
And that's what I was suspecting, but it's nice to hear it from you.
Well, he puts up the thief sign for, brothers forever type of thing.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I do have one level of. I did take one level of rogue, so I could technically understand this, but I'm not gonna give that out.
I've been teaching him. He's been paying me.
Oh,
I've been
that's
paying
good.
attention.
That's good.
Yeah.
It was $100 a lesson.
I've been very observant
I love
of
how
your
Badger's always
minor
trying to
hand
make money. It's
movements.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lady, do you have any other questions?
I'll take $200.
I was. You got no other information on the Baron then?
No, he's kind of an
No.
enigma, isn't he?
Yeah. They unfortunately, because of what he is, the spy master here cannot really throw people on him, right? The
He
Right.
Death
just
Yeah.
Speakers are kind of beyond his reach in a way.
it's just like a meat grinder, I would imagine, sending people to infiltrate the Baron. Then is that
Yeah,
the
and it
spy
would,
master? Is that
you
the
know,
problem?
he speaks quite freely, as you've seen.
Yeah.
Therefore, his relationship with the prince must be good. But there are limits. So yeah, he doesn't know. He knows the Baron is very powerful necromancer. He's weird amongst their kind because men are usually do psionics. But he is very capable. He's heard them, and his network has heard them say that he may well be the most powerful necromancer ever born.
I
This
wonder if he
statement
is part.
has been made. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I wonder if he is like part female or something.
Well, it also, with that statement, you guys are very capable compared to everyone around you. But if
Yeah.
he's like one of the most powerful necromancers of all time, coming from a purely necromantic culture, you might not really be able to deal with that.
We
No.
might be out of our depth. That makes sense.
Meaning, and he isn't necessarily that straight on fight, right?
Yeah.
Meta speaking.
Mhm.
Well, I think we've got everything we need from him. We should probably go to our.
One other question?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, is there a place I can get one of these little cameras?
Those look fascinating.
Yeah.
The
She's quite brilliant with these
lithographic
things.
graphic reality absorber.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't even have one myself. It would be an interesting thing to play with. But a lot of these technologies you see around here are, of course, of the ancients. But also the Death Speakers themselves are more of a technological society than a magical one. Although their
Hmm.
necromancy is clearly a major part of their society. Many of these devices are of their own origin. So it's something that you would have to negotiate with one of their upperclassmen.
Oh. Are there
Mm.
artificers among their kind?
I understand there are many. Whereas in the
Hmm?
West, and he mentions a city, which, Rabbit is still looking at that fish. But he pipes up and he's like, I'm from that city. That's where the accountant is from. He's from the Altarian Kingdom or Empire. He's one of you, actually. But uh, he so he's from the outside, but yeah, this is something that they have. What was your question again? I think I forgot.
Trying to learn. Are there like artificers and people who make
Oh
and
yes,
tinker and do
he
things?
has heard that there are many, unlike
I
in the
see.
West where you are extremely rare, young lady. He smiles at you.
Aw. Oh, do you think do you think there'd be some opportunity to maybe learn from some of them, or are
You can
they
do as you
rather
like.
quiet?
You are a free citizen. Do keep in mind that this contract is laid upon Badger himself.
Right.
That is true.
But you are welcome here in the city. There's many people up to devious things. I see here you guys are up to various things for the Iron Pass, which makes sense. But you
Yeah.
are free to
Tall
stay
man
here. The only
girl.
thing I would suggest for you to do is two things to avoid. Do not interfere with the slave trade. They take it very seriously,
Hmm.
even though it is abhorrent to us. He actually lowered his voice for that. It's the first time he's lowered his
Mhm.
voice in this conversation.
Interesting.
One. Two, do not interfere with the operations of Crackmore.
The operations.
Mhm. Other than that, there's all kind of shenanigans to get up to. If you break some kind of law, the Just Guards will come and decide whether you deserve a fine or death.
That's funny.
Can I
But
ask for some specifics on what operations may look like? Merely leaving the guards alone, I suppose, or
he leans back in his chair and he says, well, anything to do with government.
Okay.
I see.
So
Hence
if
the
one
berry.
wanted to open up a shop down here,
You're more than welcome. Just pay the fees.
Hmm.
It's probably cheaper to do
okay,
that here than it is in Iron Pass.
probably
Lovely
that's
town, by
probably
the
what
way.
they like to open up a shop. She says, who her father is.
Oh yes, he's a very
He
successful,
he
good
might want
man.
to open up a place down here.
I myself have sold some things to him. But yes, no, absolutely. He says that
Okay.
he actually has spent quite a bit of time in Iron Pass. His favorite place of late, the last time he went there, was this new little place called Ye Old Rapid Dining.
Oh, my son is home.
Yeah,
Yes, I have a feeling that'll be big someday.
it might well be. It was quite good. I also did go to an outfitter there, but I've gotten news that she has passed away. Little Brandy Mary.
Yeah, Brandy.
Yeah, I'll
She
mention
was a
that wicked old witch got her fingers into her.
Yes, well, hags are something that is best to not interact with, but it seems the princess might not have learned that lesson.
Oh,
Nevertheless, it has nothing to do with what we are doing here. There is one last little thing I will give you before you go on and make your attempt. And I do wish you luck, by the way.
thank
The
you.
last little thing you have to keep in mind this lithograph that I showed you,
Hmm.
and he kind of uh, takes the file back and takes it out and shows it to you again, or one of you pulls it out. This creature behind Princess in this portrait is not just one of her creations. We're not sure. Well, I'm sure the Death Speakers know exactly what and who it is, but we are not, my network and I. But it is not a common undead. It is something different. It is something powerful. It has a name. It is called
A
the
lich.
Tarnished King.
Oh
Ooh.
boy.
Be wary of it.
Chester's gonna throw a lich at
Tarnished
us.
king.
No. How would
Or a
you do
leech
that?
witch. Leech, what do they call them?
Now, if this was
Leeches?
Lich.
3.5, he would throw a lich at.
Damn right I would. All
All
right.
right, cool. We've
Do
got
we have
all the information.
That
from
was a
of the
lot of
account?
blue text. That was a lot of blue text, Bill.
It
Do
was.
we have? Yeah, not bad. Do we have a name for the accountant, or is he just known as the accountant?
He's just, well, as far as you're concerned, he's just the accountant. He
Yeah.
seemed a quite pleasant fellow, though.
Yeah.
Good.
Very helpful, and he genuinely would like to see you succeed at it because he's quite clear. Like I said, the only thing he brought his voice down about was interfering with the slave trade, which he doesn't seem to approve of, right?
Right. He's
Because
from
he's
Mark.
one. Well, he's Altarian like you are,
Right.
right? And slavery has been illegal for 1,000 years, right?
Right.
But other than that, he spoke quite brazenly about the princess, didn't he?
He did.
Good.
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
kind of shocking. Yeah. He was not honorific whatsoever. So,
Although he
He
seems to
must.
have great respect for the prince, though.
He seems to have earned it.
He seems like he
Oh,
has. Yeah. Remember,
yeah.
thing you've seen, he's regal, an actual governor. His intentions are literally to govern this city for his father.
Exactly as it should be.
Yeah,
And the princess just, I don't know. I think she plans to diva off and do something, but
that's what it
that's
seems
not
like. Yeah.
Well, she
that.
wants to rule the world, of
She wants to rule
course.
the world. Yeah. Anyway,
Well, everybody wants to rule the world.
you got a file, and in that file, it's got all the details that his network has gathered on her, which is all the stuff I told you, and it also on these three individuals that are very close to her. Obviously, from you guys take a look in the file, and he's just he's trying to organize his desk, which seems like an epically impossible
You,
task. But you guys will look kind of coming around each other and taking a look at this file, and there is a little extra information in there. These people are confidants and friends of hers, but it's also possibly or definitely some sexual dalliances going on. The one thing about the princess is what's the proper modern word? A
Honey.
304.
Oh,
Yes.
A what?
She a hoe.
Oh
faux
yeah.
show.
Yeah, she sleeps around a lot. She gets drunk. She does drugs. You look into the file, she's just a nasty piece of work. Just the typical Paris Hilton,
Why
Oh,
would
right?
he want her back?
Because he's a dutiful brother.
Yeah.
Well, we leave here, go back to our place to have our meeting, and to
Yeah.
bring uh, Rowan into the loop. So
Rowan.
he went to watch.
Rowan,
Nothing.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
he was
Yes.
watching the dog.
Puffin.
Just make sure no one eat it.
The...
Which, this isn't that kind of city, Puffin, but good on you. We're not
Oh no,
in. This is not Moss Isley. It's a level up
I
from
didn't
that.
want someone to steal it.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Because it's a useful
I
dog.
feed it a treat when we get back to it. Good doggy. Don't eat the cleric. Yes.
Okay. So you guys head back to the Hooded Vale. Which, like I said, is it's not a bad little hotel. It's probably a little bit bawdy for some of you. The rest of you are quite used to it, especially those who live at Wonderland. It's not too dissimilar. Matter of fact, you've seen Wonderland get a little bit more raucous than this place. But like I said, this isn't a designated brothel. It's just kind of a all-service type of hotel. But it's good enough for your purposes. And you guys are up in your rooms and you're taking a look at all the detail. There's more information, a lot of it just about her ridiculous decadence and nonsense. Now, you don't know how their society looked at this because you do know, and the accountant doesn't know either, right? You do know one thing about their society is that the living don't have to do anything. They can do whatever they want. They can be as decadent and live the most luxurious life because they have no responsibilities. The dead serve them, right? And you don't know the status of those Justicars you talk to or the prince himself as far as living or dead people. You don't really know. But it might just simply be that she's still alive.
Hmm.
As far as the information you have, because this file is full of all kinds of dumbass shit. This girl falls for every damn pyramid scheme she comes across. She's tried to run her own slave business, failed. She tried to run her own inn, failed. Everything you can imagine that is debauched, she has tried to put her fingers in and failed. She has slept with half the town, and there are some lithographs on that, by the way.
Is there any information in the document about the Tarnished King? Was he a person or a character of history or?
That you don't know. There's a lithograph with him in the background I showed you, and
Yeah.
the information there is of course a paragraph on him that he is something that they refer to from the only information he's been able to gather here that he is from the old world,
Hmm.
whatever that means. But the one thing you can see from these interactions in the file you're going through, because there's a lot of information here, the Death Speakers do not talk about their society very much. Like I said, they don't even know what the Death Speakers call themselves. It's simply what the people of Cragmora call them.
Hmm. And
They
they're
first
finding.
rule
so
about
they
Death Speakers.
well, yeah,
Spell
but
call.
they're very kind of a closed mouth about their society. And
Oh,
like I
that's
said, he doesn't
powerful.
know anyone who's not a Death Speaker that has traveled because it is far to the east. He said he doesn't know anybody. So unfortunately, I have no information.
Right. Hmm.
What were you trying to say, Bill?
I see a few obvious things. I don't know if anyone else had picked up on this too.
Go for it.
But I think well, for one, if is she MIA or is she just out of control. Right now, if he's just out of control and not missing, then we can create an opportunity to generate her interest, and then once we have her interest, create a web to trap her in, and then deliver her.
Maybe I should try and sell her a bridge in Cragmora.
Something
Well,
of that nature,
Puffin.
or even some type of event.
Yes.
Well, Puffin being
Like
a scholar, I mean,
grandmas.
he is a priest, a cleric. He is going through the document. I mean, everyone here, I'm assuming, knows how to read. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
know
Went
my
to school
letters.
together.
he and the artificer are probably well, maybe Tater as well, are the most capable, grammatically when it comes to text. Puffin's looking through it, and Puffin, you see the piece of detail you can find to answer Badger's question. The last time she was seen in Cragmore was it was actually like 2 months and 1 week ago, or actually 8 days ago. And she spent 3 days with Dandelion in a drunken stupor.
So the last time she was seen was 8 days ago.
No, 2 months and 8 days ago.
2 months and 8 days ago. Okay, so then does the tainted, what is it?
The Tainted King.
Does the tainted tarnished king, does he
Tarnished King,
accompany
that's
her
right.
on these carousals?
No, matter of fact, the only image
Thank
they have
God.
of him is that portrait, and that portrait actually is hanging in the penthouse of the Cragmora Inn, in the royal penthouse at top. It's hanging in the main hall. It's that information is in the file, by the way.
Okay.
Interesting.
So it's a portrait. It's a literal gigantic portrait that was taken of her with the Tarnished King. But the last
Gotcha.
time was 2 months, 8 days ago. She spent a 3-day drunken, sex-filled stupor with Dandelion, way far down in the agricultural area, and she spent $28,000 gambling and carousing. They have detail of going back years of all her nonsense in this file. It's very thick.
Well, I mean, this is the way to do it, so we don't have to fight necromancers.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know what the Tarnished King is, but you do know that the accountant said they speak of him in whispered tones, and the Baron is, well, wicked powerful.
Well, either way, I don't think we want to cross spells or swords with either of them. Um, so I think the best thing is we just take advantage of her inability to have self-control and make that the way to capture her.
Maybe.
Maybe.
If I have to seduce her, I will take one for the team.
You might have to.
Well,
Well, look on the bright side.
She
I-
seems to swing
I-
both ways. So
Yeah.
I kind of
Trust
tend
you.
to think that it may be, Brina and the Mastiff.
Wait, what?
What?
I know it sounds weird, but let me tell
Yeah, a
you,
little bit.
the whole thing is she is into shocking and extravagant things. We want to do something she's probably never done before, and something that's going to keep her interest.
Well, we don't really know
Puffin's
what
going through
she's
the
done.
file frantically. It's well documented, by the way, Puffin. There
Oh,
are no
excellent.
accounts of bestiality or gnomes.
Ah,
Thank
So,
God.
there you go.
okay.
I'm going to put
That's
boil
not a
water
good
on the
thing.
boil while you guys discuss depravity. Wonderful.
Okay.
I am not going to discuss that.
That wasn't the direction I was going, but
Surprise!
Well, the idea is not without merit, even if
Hey,
it is
look on the
without
bright side,
morals.
guys. If you get a disease, I can cleanse it.
What
We hope.
a contest.
Maybe something like a
Oh.
beauty pageant or a talent competition, something that might play to her vanity.
Remember, she
Yeah,
likes
like
big
gambling.
ballroom, fancy parties.
Wow, that's true.
Okay,
Well,
so
the biggest.
we'll make
we can make it a
Bill.
multifaceted thing. We can throw a big party with gambling and
And alcohol and drugs.
and then
And
seduce
fancy
her. And then seduce her. And what we'll do is we're gonna dress up Puffin I'm sorry, Rowan.
In a big
As
fancy.
well, being that he is a virgin, right?
What? No.
And
And
that
sacrifice it to her?
you are.
That's an
No.
assumption.
Yeah, that's an assumption.
I'm sorry, but there wasn't one girl who liked Mr. Waspy Bee guy. You were that kid who used to pull the wings off of insects and keep them under glass. So,
This
Well,
is
I
true.
mean, not in town.
oh yeah, that girlfriend who, from out of
The
town.
farmer's daughter
You'd be
Yeah.
surprised.
Okay.
She
Yeah.
was from.
has
She
9
went to
kids.
school in the Thysian Kingdom. Okay.
This is serious. You don't need to. You can drop the lies now.
I'm not lying.
Amy, my water is on the boil. You are responsible to tell me.
Okay, now how long does water take to boil in a copper pot? About 2 minutes?
3.
It depends if he's watching.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll assume it takes 2 minutes.
Okay. We don't want to. We don't want to burn another one, because this
Nope.
time I'll
Water's
blame you.
okay.
It was Amy's fault.
It is
Mhm.
sea level, so it goes faster.
It does go faster. It's true. Anyway, you guys made decisions.
Well, I
No.
think
Working on it.
we're working on it. I
There you
think
go.
we're
Okay.
planning on
I'll
throwing.
back up. Go ahead.
Okay.
So we're gonna throw a party. No.
Yeah, and big fancy dresses?
A big
And then
sexy
we can invite
party.
the crowd
A
friends,
fashion
like,
show.
and the crew. And when she gets somewhere to, and maybe there's a contest, and when she naturally wins, and when she gets there to receive her prize, his best makeover, grab her and throw her a burlap sack over her head and drag her away.
And we grab our $1 million and run. That's the plan.
That's the Shrek strategy. All right.
Yes.
Well,
Well, that's a
but now
valid strategy.
it is, but keep in mind she has not been seen in over
Yeah.
2
So we don't
months.
even know.
So we'll have to go
Well,
up
something
north
could have
and see
happened to her.
flyers.
What
So
was
she'll
that?
know. Well, we'll have to sneak up north and around town and put out flyers for the big party. So she'll know. Right?
But she hasn't been in town for over 2 months, so we don't know how long that would even take.
What was the normal
If
gap
she even came
in
back, we don't know.
Yeah.
in the book?
Let me re-describe real quick, lady. Let me re-describe how these cities are laid out, right? They are 10 miles by 10 miles, right? 10 miles north south, 10 miles east. Well, that's not the exact cardinal direction, but you get my point. And they go up an entire stack, so they're almost 1,000 feet tall.
It's almost 2 minutes. You might want to check your water.
Still not boiling.
Okay.
Good job, though. And what you have here on the let's assume it's the southerly side, okay? The very southerly side of the city, you have this kind of thinnish strip that goes from like a mile wide to 3 mile wide down toward the agricultural area, maybe even a little more. And north is a derelict city, just like you've walked through on several times. However, unlike the other ones that are very dusty, meaning adventurers don't spend much time in them, this one is still newly discovered, and I put big air quotes on that. Therefore, this is the main activity. Why? And that's why Cade's Delve's main camp is where it is. Because keep in mind, this city goes like 170 miles, northwest, right, from where you are, 160 miles. But that's why there's so much concentration here, because they're coming into this place. You just didn't know this because adventurers don't share information, because screw you, it's my money.
Almost
Chester,
3
you
minutes.
should see if your water's breaking.
Good job. You did better than Amy. All right.
Well, we didn't want to interrupt
That's
your
not fair.
yammering.
She set the clock.
She did. I just jumped in on it. And took
Well,
credit.
early bird gets the worm.
Well, it takes 2 minutes and about 40 seconds to boil water
In a copper pot.
in a copper pot.
At sea level.
Yes.
It makes a difference.
Somebody look up that fact on Google or something. I'm on Google that. At sea level, how fast does it take to boil water? Depends on how
And
much
also
water you're
check out
trying to
which
boil.
hemisphere it's in. What
Yeah.
part of the lunar
Oh,
cycle?
That's true. That's true too.
No, that's
What the temperature is of the water itself to begin with.
Well, that
And colder water will heat up faster than lukewarm water.
Cold water will?
I
filtered
don't
water.
know. Somebody look that up.
That sounds good. Kind of like you can't make mayonnaise during a lightning storm.
What?
No, you
Where
can't.
have you
That's
ever
true.
heard that from?
I'm going to have to put Honey in charge next time.
Yeah. Are your pots secured?
They are. It is turned off. There is no longer steaming, and I have a hot cup of Dutch coffee in front of me.
Very
Nice.
nice. Very nice. Okay, so I think we should go speak with Wesley Crusher,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
and um,
Yeah.
and when we're done talking with Stand By Me, we can see where we are.
All right.
I will not stand between y'all and the next fight, okay? Remember last week when I stood up and said da 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 da? Well, never mind.
Yeah, that
I
was your
remember it.
fault. That was definitely your fault. Yeah, but you got
Mhm.
the XP anyway. Keep in mind that's
Yeah.
a good thing about these kind of role playing games. You get XP whether you fight the fight or you find another way around it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you find a solution, you get the XP. You don't have
Yeah.
to fight, right?
That is
Um,
awesome.
it is, and pretty much all role playing games are like that these days. It wasn't like that back in the day though.
No, it
This
was not.
no.
I gotta
Well,
take this phone call. I'll be right
Okay,
the
back.
no
a
problem.
counterpoint though to that is if you fight, you can loot the corpse.
Well, that's
So
true. You might miss out on some treasure items and gold. That's true. That's true.
yeah.
But nevertheless, we've made a decision, and we're going to go to the Cragmora Inn, which is back down the street and up Bloom Street. Which street did I say you guys are on? Briar Way. Was that it?
It
Maybe.
sounds right.
I think so. We'll go with it. The Hooded Vale is kind of in the working industrial warehousey area. That's not far from the gate you guys had to pay to get through. Down the street, about 10 blocks down the street, is Bloom Street, which is where all the kind of richy, more expensive stuff is. So you guys come out, you head down the street. Once again, this place is booming. Now, one thing you've noticed, because you've been here a few days, right?
Mhm.
Is the way you came in, especially as ragtag as it looked at the gate, where things are a little bit better in town, and talking with Badger, knowing that literally this town is run by a thieves guild, which is doesn't sound good. One thing you've noticed, there's no crime anywhere. The
Really?
streets are pretty clean. There aren't drunks in the middle of the street. There aren't. There's crime going on, but it's very controlled, and it's not something you see. It's controlled by the Thieves Guild, because the Justice Cars are not to be played with.
Would you say it's all underground?
It might well be, right? But I'm just saying, I get the joke.
Get him out of here.
But I'm just saying that this is not a lawless town. This is not Moss Isley, as I said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it is, it's not, but it is.
There's plenty of scum and villainy. You just
There is.
have to look under the surface.
Right, and it's also how
Well,
you look at it. Once again, the slave trade is something you were warned not to interfere with, is
Mm-hmm.
rampant here. Not only are there slave auctions, you see slaves working at various places, although it is more like the Greek style of slavery over the
Mm.
chattel slavery of the Muslims, which are those are the slaves they sold in America and in the West, by the way, was the Muslim style of slave, chattel slavery. This is
Yeah.
more the Greek style, meaning a lot of the people who are artisans, carpenters, masons, very capable people are slaves.
Okay, because your picture kind of gave us the chattel impression. I have to
Yeah,
Mhm.
say.
well, there's some of that for sure that goes on with that. There's kind of no way around it. But
Okay.
you got to understand there's three tiers in this place. So let me explain it so everyone understands. You have the Death Speakers, whatever they're actually called, and they seem to congregate in the Craigmora Inn mainly. Although you'd imagine some of the people who operate the government, like the Just Cars, must have other places that they're at. One place that they certainly do interviews in, but that is a thieves guild building, not a desk speaker building, right?
Right.
So you have that part of society that you really haven't seen much of yet. You have the people who live here, right? The residents of Cragmora, and those are the ones that have more of the Greek style of slavery. But the majority of people in this town are adventurers. Some of them are new, some of them are returning, and some of them just kind of took up residence in a way, but they're still outsiders. those guys are the ones that are more rough and tumble, that get more trouble. They bring some more evil, like Timothy's
Mm.
dad, right?
Right.
And they're the ones that probably treat the slaves more as chattel. And you don't know the law in town, but you would assume that that is not illegal because you do see some of it. Anyway,
Yeah.
Anyway,
Um.
real quick, I muted lady just said I didn't want her phone conversation to be overheard on YouTube.
yeah, go ahead and mute her.
I did. But
I
as we're
still hear
walking
her
up,
though.
Well, because you didn't mute her.
Oh, fine.
oh,
I'll mute her.
I
I'll mute
muted.
her. I'll mute her. I'll mute her. Mute it. All right. Someone remind me to check in a few minutes and make sure she's up. She can do it herself, but just make sure. All right. So what am I
Oh,
doing? Oh yeah,
just in
that's what I'm doing.
case.
So, you guys decided to go to the Cragmora Inn and talk to Wayton.
I did have
Or yeah,
one point while we're walking though
yeah.
is that we kind of have to have, and I don't know if this matters because of the style of play that you're running, but I just wanted to verify. It's like we've been down underground for a week or longer, right?
Yeah.
How long? Have we been down a month, or has it just been?
Well, keep in mind, half the party stayed in Cage Ruin and set up your camp quite nicely. Matter of fact, there's still a couple members of your group that are still at camp, right? We have
Right.
Danny's character. We have who?
Larry, Bob, and
Well,
or
there's
Larry,
rather,
there's
or
Bob,
there's
Larry.
and
two or three
yeah.
people at your camp, which is quite nice. They did a good job of setting that up. It's kind of like a Bedouin type of thing going on. It's quite comfortable.
Do we need to
So,
touch base with them? Is kind of the point I'm getting to
and
real
of course
quick.
that's
Is
you might, well, it's been a while, they're probably worried, but also right there at camp you have your entrance, your protected entrance that goes into a
Mhm.
preserved little kind of nice little room as well, so they're good. But you guys are in, and then a group of you went back to Iron Pass, and you came back, and you guys been down here for a while, been a week, I'd say, maybe a little more, probably more. It's like 10 days now, I think.
Yeah.
Was it during May?
Yeah.
Um. Okay. Well, so my thoughts regarding Watton,
Wetton.
Wetton.
Yeah.
Wetton.
Whedon?
So my thoughts are, he looks like the sort of person who probably keeps a diary, and and
When it's men,
so
it's called a
like,
journal. All right.
Mhm.
yeah, right. So my thoughts are, if we can distract him, if can sneak into his room and read his diary.
How
Gasp.
scandalous.
Yeah, no.
Well, I mean that that's a possibility. So maybe we need to observe him for a little bit and see what the best way to approach him would be.
Yeah,
I'm gonna send,
sure.
yeah, Wetton.
All
So
right.
maybe it's time to send you send your foul little imp from the pit and spy on him just for a little bit before we go in there and knock and say, hey, tell us about your sometimes on again, off again girlfriend, the princess.
I can actually do that.
Because I
You
think
can
walking up
fly
there
and
with a cold call is going to be pretty stupid. So we need to find a way in to him,
Yep. Fair
well,
so to
enough.
speak.
I will have my closet, because it is invisible, so I will have it fly up on the outside and look through all the windows.
Now, does it
And
smell?
Oh, darn! It had its pineal gland sonically sucked out.
Don't
Shucks.
do that to him.
I do quite routinely cast prestidigitation on it to make it smell not so bad.
It looks like it stinks really bad.
All
Yeah,
right.
so
Well,
it'll
I'm
be,
gonna
yeah.
I'm gonna ask each person what they're doing and when we get in there, but we have to get there first.
Yeah.
So you guys walk down. It takes a little while. It's like a 10 block. It's kind of like at the very edge of the town area.
Let's get a place here and use it as a second, base operations for this job.
Is that something you want to do?
Hmm?
You want to get something on Bloom Street? It's much more expensive,
Yeah.
dude.
How much is it?
You would have to check, but they do have
Yeah.
hotels and inns here, of course.
But
And of course,
we
you
don't
do
need
have the
something for
Cragmora
everybody.
Inn right there. It is an inn. It's a hotel,
Yeah,
really.
it's easier to spy on someone that way than from here. And we may not need to do. We just do one person one night and start there.
Okay. Well, let's get there first. All right. So you guys are walking up Bloom Street, and of course, this is not as crazy as where you guys are staying at the Hooded Vale, but it is still quite busy. There's a lot of business going on in this town, and there's all kind of shops and inns and restaurants and all that kind of stuff going on. This just all higher class here, and you hadn't gone this far on this road yet. But you kind of crest a little bit of a hill, and you actually have to go up kind of stairwell into like another level. And there's still shops on right and left of you, but you can see now the Cragmora Inn. You see the top of it before, but you couldn't distinguish it from the rest of the area. But now you can see it. It's prominent. This is 12 to 15-story building. It's
Wow.
big. It's very wide and it looks kind of fat actually, because it's
Yeah.
so wide. But it's very palatial. It's kind of got Romanesque columns I say Greco-esque columns in the front. There's a big old fountain, and as you guys approach, there is an open gateway. It's not closed with a portcullis. There is a portcullis, but it's open, and there are a bunch of guards. But as you're walking up toward the inn, you guys notice that walking next to you are the Deathspeakers.
The ones from earlier?
Yes,
Hmm.
the Justicars.
Just the cars.
And they look
Are
at you.
they?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead. Go ahead, GOP.
I give them a little nod. So does it look like they're intentionally walking next to us, or does it look like we just happen to be coming
Oh, no,
across
no.
each
They
other?
appear out of nowhere and are walking next to you.
Sirs, how may we be of service?
They don't say a single word to you. They just hand you a packet and then disappear.
Okay. Well, as we walk, how far are we from was it the Claymore?
You're about 20 yards. Are you going to open the packet?
Oh,
Yes.
that's why I was asking how
Open
close
it.
we were. But yeah,
Dude.
I'll open it. And I'm standing, so I'm above Brina, just so she can't see anything because she's being bossy. I'm looking at. I'm opening the packet and looking into it.
Inside, there are we'll assume that Rabbit is in the brothel, dealing with fish. So there are
Something
6
smells like it.
Yeah.
of these necklaces that you see the Justicar's wearing.
Oh,
Looks like we got our room case, and I'll put one on Brianna first.
It dangles
Did-
down and drags on the ground because she's little.
Please tuck that in your belt, and then. No, you're gonna choke. You're gonna choke. Just tuck it in your breast pocket there.
There
on
you
your
go.
belt.
Loop it once
Oh,
or
and that's
twice
right.
is
Let me
fine.
unmute her just in case she didn't realize.
oh my gosh, that's right. Yep.
You had me muted.
You
Well,
were not muted, and your conversation was coming out, and they were
I
concerned
went to
about
another room.
they were concerned about
Yeah.
your
I heard
privacy.
it.
You see.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's
that they were.
exactly how the
It's all
Me,
that.
conversation
me,
went.
Okay,
you
it's
you were
over
just
with.
being annoying, but they were concerned about your
Sorry.
privacy, so I deferred to them. Yeah, your mic is good, I guess, lady, because it picked
It
up.
is.
It was like you
It
were standing
hasn't
right
been
in
that
front of
good
it.
all the
There you go.
time.
Well, it wasn't so much all the words, but if someone wanted to fiddle around, they could probably figure it out. So we just
Yeah.
muted.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway,
fine.
All right.
so
If there's a note, or is it just the amulets?
no, it's just
Amulets?
these little amulets,
Okay.
and they do have runes on them, but only I would say only the artificer can read it, or I don't
What
know
does that
who
say there?
speaks arcane again, the draconic language.
I mean, I speak it.
Okay, so you and Honey do.
Yeah. Let's say.
They
What does this say?
literally
It's,
have the rune for justice on them.
Really?
Okay.
We got badges.
You do.
I
Yeah, we
do.
do.
It's
And we didn't even have to
fabulous.
steal them this time.
Can I get that one back? I'm collecting them now.
Oh,
Okay. Okay.
okay.
So you guys walk up to the gate. The guards snap to. They see your amulets on, and one of them goes inside the edge of the gate and puts it back up against the wall, and he tips his spear inward and nods his head.
I give him a nice little nod back, and then
Too friendly.
I know. I'm just, enjoying the
Why don't you
power.
go? Why don't you go in and get a room, and we'll stand outside and wait.
Okay.
And while you're in there, send little pester on his.
Well, I was going to send the closet on the outside to peek through the
That's
windows.
whatever you
All right.
need to do,
Invisible.
dude. I don't care
First.
it.
Now, one thing at a time. Now, it's a low gate. You guys pass through it. These guards are the first ones you've seen that are actually fully armored. These guys have chainmail and breastplates on. Metal breastplates. It's full on deal. Everything that you're seeing around town is more either no armor or brigandine, maybe, as far as people that seem to be some kind of guard or
So this
military
is
or something
this
like
is what
that.
we call dead white privilege
Yes, that's
for
right.
those
Dead
who are
white
dead
privilege.
white.
That's right. Dead white privilege.
Yeah.
And you come into this palatial courtyard. There's a giant fountain, and it's quite beautiful. It's kind of like the one there in the Vatican City. It's just got beautiful sculptures all in it and around it. There are beautiful trees here. It's the first trees you've seen underground, by the way. You've seen some mushrooms and things, but there's actual trees inside of this courtyard, and they're quite
Oh,
beautiful. And some of them are very bizarre. I know we have a druid here, so little Miss Gnome, you
yeah.
are you're
Captivated.
absolutely captivated by these weird but beautiful trees you see, and of course you see. Uh, that you don't know what's in the back of this place, but there's a stairwell, and there are all kind of uniformed valets and things like that standing on the outside as you approach. And as you guys kind of stop and go over to the corner, maybe sit down on some benches, you send in the tater. So
Well,
tater,
yes,
go ahead.
the closet first
All right.
to
So
check.
what is the closet doing?
The closet is going to fly up on the outside, invisible, and look through the windows, see if it notices the person. I do have voice of the chainmaster, so I can remote control this thing from any distance.
Well, like I said, this is about 15 stories. It's a gigantic building. And there are several floors that are in essence doubled up. So it's not actually 15 floors. It just looks like
Yeah.
it. There's ballrooms and other things that are at this time of the day, they're all kind of empty. There is something that looks what modern people would call a food court.
Hmm.
And
I can.
you see in the back, there's another courtyard, and it's very big. It's like several football fields long and wide, and it's just a park with beautiful trees and benches and little water features. It's just a beautiful place to hang out. And you see there are people that are eating the continental breakfast, of course, and they have little balconies for them to sit on if they like. And most of the people in here are death speakers. Not all, but most of them. But this is the largest number of them you've seen, and of course they're all white. They're white. These are a white race of people. Some of them have a pallor about them that, yeah, denotes not very lively, right? Others of them, just like with the just cars, you're looking at them here. Two of these guys are ridiculously pale, but one of them has a human pallor to him, and his hair is black. You see some of those too. There are black-haired people, it seems, and so there are some living and dead in here. Although these dead are obviously extremely high level, they're some form of, they haven't lost their sentience, right? So
They're like.
vampires, mummies, or whatever, they're different, right? Um,
Yeah.
or just simply necropolitans of some kind or another, right? And
Mhm.
but yeah, there's quite a bit of them in here. if you're trying to keep count through your imp's eyes, there's several hundred. And as far as rooms, there's a few where people are sleeping, and yeah, just kind of normal activity, nothing out of the ordinary. However, when the imp gets up toward the top, because you're just taking time here and taking a look, right? But when it
Yeah.
gets up toward the top, you know, I don't know, I goes the top quarter of the building, the imp stops. Now you can see
Okay.
through his eyes, but can you communicate as well?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. It says bad magic. Can't go.
All right. Well, I will convey that to the party. I'm assuming this is taking a little while, so
Of
if the
course.
party wants to jump in or wants to go in and start scouting the place on the inside while I'm doing this, that makes sense too.
It's
I think
possible.
you
I'm going to go
report
to each person and that's what they're doing. So this is the information you get, GOP. It's a hotel
Yeah.
full of death speakers. That's it. Now there are a few other people who aren't death speakers. There are maybe they look to be quite wealthy, and yeah, the imp wouldn't see that. We'll get to that later. Okay, so that's what you see. Let me go here, Amy. What are you doing now? Keep in mind, Amy, you're not a big fan of Cragmore just simply because of the villainy and the slave stuff, and it just doesn't. It rubs you the wrong way. Obviously, you're a paladin. Um,
Okay.
but well, on the other side, there's some things you probably do respect. The Justicars are straight up justice. They're neutral. They're not evil at all. And you respect that being a paladin. You
Mhm.
respect justice and law.
Absolutely. Mhm.
But nevertheless, it's not so um, deterious to you that you can't stand being in the city. You understand
Right.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
what is your character going to do now? Of all these people here, you and Tater are the
Mhm.
ones that can mix with these people best.
Really?
Of course, you are a paladin. You're no matter
Mm.
where you go in the world, well, even if you have people that hate your guts, you are respected because you are regal, you are noble, and you are you represent justice. So you and Tater is a nobleman.
Oh, that's good to know. I mean, I'm glad that she's not sensing much in the way of evil here then that has to give her some
Not
peace.
particularly, no.
Yeah. And I'm sure she wants to see the sister reunited with her brother and that hopefully put to
Save
something like
Ironheart
rest and
from
save
whatever
us.
she's planning.
Right.
Okay, so
Oh,
what are you going to do? Tater is sitting down using his little demon thing, which you do not approve of, by the way. But what are you going to do? Are you going to go inside?
oh, we're not inside already? Or
No,
did
you're
she just
sitting
No,
in the
say?
we're
courtyard
outside.
outside.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
we're at the
sitting on some
courtyard.
beautiful benches around a gorgeous tree, and the gnome is hugging it.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, Max was standing on the grass. Huh? Okay, yeah, all right. Probably took the boots off, let my toes feel the
Mm-hmm.
grass
Mm-hmm.
too.
Mm-hmm.
That
Okay.
must be
Mm-hmm.
nice
Mm-hmm.
after so
It's true.
long.
Yep.
Been too
Little baby
long.
toes. So
Mhm.
what are you doing, Amy?
Um, Probably look at the tree and sigh and think about home for a little bit and kind of shake that off. And I don't see why not approach the front door
Yeah.
if we
Well,
want to talk to some
you're
of these
already in the
people.
gate, so
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, we do have badges. I think maybe we were just given authority to call this guy on the carpet and talk to him.
I wonder, the you said everybody here has armor. Do they look battle weary or
no.
do they
Only
look
the
more
guards at the gate have armor. Only no, they're
Oh, okay.
not, and no, they're the opposite of battle worn.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that I'm like, oh, that would be kind of strange because I think it's a relatively nice town. So it's good to
No,
hear then that.
Bill's little cheeky joke was exactly correct. Dead white power. Yeah,
Mhm.
these are rich people, and they have
Ah,
Privilege,
they
but
have privilege. Yeah,
different
mm,
things.
yeah. So anyway, what are you doing, Amy? Once again,
um, I think let's see, there was a food court somewhere.
Tater tells you that. Yeah,
Oh, so that's inside the building.
it is. Yeah.
It is. I mean, I don't see why not walk up to the front door and see if there's anyone to talk to. I mean, we're here to try and find if there's
Information.
a Mr. Wetton, right?
Wetton. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well then, perhaps I can walk in and ask about that.
Well, you do whatever you want. As you approach the
All
front
right.
door, a valet opens it for you and bows. You walk in,
That's
and this entry lobby is
hmm
probably about 5 stories tall,
Oh,
and it
lovely.
is baroque as hell. Now, I said
Ooh.
baroque, not broke, so I don't want
Yes.
to hear that urban
Exactly.
nonsense. All right.
Mm-mm. Baroque.
And it
It must
is
be.
just gilded. There's art everywhere, tapestry. This is probably the most lush and luxurious room you've ever stood in your life. Not even probably, most definitely.
Definitely.
The amount of wealth in here would probably be able to upgrade all of Iron Pass into a better town.
Wow.
Just the
What a
gold
beautiful.
on the walls. It's absolutely stunning. It's gorgeous. There, of course, is a hotel counter. There are many chairs around. There are people sitting and chatting. There is off to the right. It's going into what seems to be some kind of you're not exactly sure what it is. It looks like it should be a ballroom, but it's just got rows of pews in it, kind of like the church in Iron Pass. On the left, you see there's this like all kind of little shops and little massages and cucumber, whatever those things you ladies do with the cucumbers. We're not really sure.
Oh, the put them on the eyes
Yeah,
for
those
little
thingies.
spottings.
Yeah, those things.
Okay.
Um, and then of course there's a stairwell going up to another area that's you can see that's in this room because this room is so ridiculously tall. And there are lifts like you guys have taken in the other cities. These are fancier though. These
Oh,
automatic lifting floors.
they look
The
in very good.
Right. And of course, like I said, there is a concierge and a check-in counter.
Nice.
It is
Um,
gorgeous.
wow. Well, I'm certain to just take it in for a moment. You said there was a place that looked like it might be a church?
It kind of looks a lot like the church that you're used to, yeah. That's off to the right, the
Interesting.
God's Hall in town. You've probably been to it.
Really?
Yeah, I
Well,
mean, you are a
glad.
paladin after all. You've probably been in the God's Hall before.
Well, it might be nice to go see, but I suppose I could check out about. And I'm not feeling any darkness or anything around here. It seems okay.
There are little blips here or there, but no,
Well,
it's
as
normal. It's like
yeah,
being in Iron Pass, yeah.
yeah. If you would see some people who have darkness in their heart, anyway. All right
Yeah.
then. I suppose. Hmm. Wheaton looks like, and there's no one in the place in the God's Hall or the place that looks like a church.
There are not many, no. There are a couple people milling around toward the back. You can't they're too far away for you to make out their features, but there are a couple people milling in the very back. But it looks kind of like your God's Hall in Iron Pass. It's just bigger. But there's a lot of pews. There's like a pulpit sitting way in the distance from you. There are imageries on the wall that you don't recognize, but it kind of looks like a church.
That's neat. I kind of want to go check that out, but I guess we should keep
On
maybe
task.
yeah, keep on task. All right, so I'll walk up to the front desk.
Okay. You have this. Everyone at this front desk is living. Keep in mind these the people working here aren't necessarily probably death speakers. They're probably just people
People.
like you.
Hmm.
But they're all alive. And you walk up and there's this one guy and he says, "Yes, ma'am. How may I help you today?"
Hello. My goodness, such a lovely place. Such a lovely room. The guy looking around. Um,
Yes,
I
we are very
wonder.
proud of it.
Reasonably so. I am looking for a particular person who is a friend to someone that I've been. Oh my goodness. Well, her family's worried about her. I wonder if you would be able to tell me if he's been here recently.
Certainly, Justicar. How may I help you? Who is it you're looking for?
I'm looking for a young fellow. His name is Wetton.
Yes, Lord Wetton.
Sorry.
Hmm?
Never mind.
Oh, What lady? Yes, well, Lord Wetton, indeed, he's been with us for many years. He is on the 12th floor.
Oh, I see. Is he of the mind to have some company?
Well, I'm not aware. We're not really allowed to be in the business of our customers, of course. But being a
Hmm.
Justicar yourself, you are free to do as you like, of course.
Ah, well, I just.
Ask him what he's in.
Shut up, person who's not here.
Yeah, I'm not here. Out of character.
So, the 12th floor then. Shall I send up a message or just go up myself to see him?
As you'd like, Justicar.
I see. Um, do you know which room perhaps?
Most certainly. And he snaps his fingers, and you see a halfling come walking up. He seems to be quite young halfling, and he's one of the. You can tell he's a halfling because his boots are stupid sized. But he's the type of halfling that wears boots, which
I
you
see.
know from your. You know, you have during you're young, but during your
Mhm.
life, you've actually had an interaction with halflings. Matter of fact, you have a sister who might well be one, and but thinks she's a half elf. Yeah.
Right?
But nonetheless,
Allegedly.
very young, like maybe 14, 16,
Oh,
maybe, because you do have experience with halflings. He
true.
walks up and he says, "Paige, please take the Justicar up to Lord Wetton's room." He snaps his heels together and he says, "Yes, sir." And you see as he's walking to ahead of you to guide you, he's not quite comfortable with the boots, but
Oh,
he makes do.
you look very smart in your boots.
Okay. He takes you to a lift. He pushes a button, and
Mhm.
you know you don't really know how these work very well. Your sister did get one working in in the desolate, dusty city, although this one seems to be much easier to operate than what your sister had to go through. However, you travel
Oh,
to the 12th floor. I will come back to you, lady. What are you doing?
I'm fascinated by this tree. I was looking at my spells to see if I can talk to the tree, but apparently it's only plants.
Yeah, these are
Oh,
just
Hmm.
trees, but they are of a foreign land that you're unaware of. These trees would be of an Asian origin, as far as we are concerned. That's why you don't know them.
Okay. All right.
okay.
They are
So
beautiful,
did
but they're quite healthy. Someone takes good care of them.
nice. Hmm.
so did you want to do anything specific, or do you want to go maybe up with Amy's character, or
No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah. Just let her do what she wants to do. Lady, what are you doing?
I'm asking some of the plants what's been happening around here.
As you're using your magic.
There's no sign that says no magic, no spell casting, right?
No. And you cast your spell, and you converse with the trees, or commune, I think would be a better word.
Yeah.
That spell, I think, you get a certain amount of questions. But go ahead and ask your first.
Um, have you seen this particular guy and describe we
Well, you do have a
well to me?
lithograph.
Okay, yeah, yeah. How do you show a tree a lithograph?
uh
If
We'll
you
Okay,
say
so see
they
this guy here?
magically can be aware of it. How's that? Um,
Okay.
which picture are you showing?
We only really have one picture of him,
You
right?
have well, who though? I gave you there. You have many lithograph of many
The
people.
guy we're here to see,
Oh,
the WEA
Wetton. Okay,
Wetton.
Wetton. Yeah.
Yeah,
Basically, just think Deton, as in dead,
Wetton. Okay,
but with a
okay,
W. Okay.
okay.
Okay. So just a little bit of trivia, by the way, with the MK there. That you guys know that South Park's theme song was written by Primus, and
Yeah.
no.
I did not, but that
yes, initially when they were involved in the project, the Les Claypool, of course, is the one who wrote it, and he
Mhm.
said that he didn't take it much serious. He didn't think much would come out of it, but he wrote the song. But the guys who were creating South Park were like, it's a bit too slow. Can you write something else? He said, nah, take it or fuck off. So they sped it up, but now they needed to have him do the vocals again. So they actually had to catch him at a concert. They had a literal cassette player and a microphone in front of him. Say, "Could you sing it again, please, for us, please, please, please?" All right, fine, and he did. Therefore, that theme song has been playing for what 20 plus years,
Yeah.
right? That's how that came together. Just so you know. Anyway, okay,
He didn't
They
think
put on a fun
Our
show.
history lesson for today.
Yeah.
yeah, Les Claypool is a freak of nature. Anyway, yeah, lady.
Yeah.
You ask about Wetton, and they say
Mhm.
that he walks near them occasionally, but it seems like he stays within the inn most of his time.
Yeah. You're pretty, by the way.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay.
Uh,
All right. So let's move on here. Let's go to Bill.
okay. So, what the hell are they all doing?
They're doing they're just doing their thing. Lady is
It's all
enamored with a
good.
tree.
Nothing
GOP, or
new there.
excuse me, Tater is doing what you asked him to do. Amy
He's
is
good.
doing what she should be doing. So my question is, what
That's
are you
good.
doing? What is Honey doing? And what is Puffin doing?
Um, I'm gonna go follow Honey.
Okay, so Honey, what are you doing?
Well, because honestly, hold on, out of all of them, if any were left to their own devices, who would be the most problematic besides myself?
Tater.
Yeah,
I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm
No,
not doing
no,
anything wrong.
lady would be.
Yeah.
But she's talking to a tree, so all's good. So basically,
so
well,
all
so
is
let me
good.
ask Honey
Okay.
first. Honey, what are you doing? You doing your own thing, or are you following your sister?
Hmm. Well, let's see. I kind of feel like, well, she's a little, she's kind of, I think she tends when she's not sure what she's doing, she tends to follow Arun. Um, she's kind of she's kind of noticing that, and she's kind of thinking about maybe expanding her business to like open a new branch down here.
You
I
could.
think that, yeah, maybe checking out
I was thinking for my dad.
huh?
Like I said, this place is not too dissimilar from Iron Pass. It's very similar,
neat.
just
Neat.
more
Like,
condensed. Yeah. But
this
anyway, that
is
doesn't answer my question, Honey. So, we're
I,
sitting at the Cragmora Inn. You're inside the courtyard. To inquire about purchasing storefronts, you would have to leave here and go somewhere else and find some kind of real estate broker, or go find some administrator of some kind. Do you want to do that, or are you going to stay here at the Cragmora Inn and do look for Waiton?
I think looking for Waiting. It's
All
like
right.
this is just something that's kind of like, see, like, if we survive this, I'm gonna expand my business and we'll maybe open shop out
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
So, are you following your sister?
Yes.
Okay. So you and Bill are going with Amy. Puffin, what are you doing?
I am going to keep an eye on Tater, make sure he doesn't screw anything up, and get us all killed.
Okay. So you're staying with Tater and the weird gnome. All right.
Yeah, the weirdo.
Yeah, weird gnome and her drooling dog. Which isn't even her
Actually, this is
dog.
Tater's drilling dog.
That's my dog, but she
Yeah.
just uses it.
She knows she's claimed it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not yours anymore. But okay,
I
let's stick
feed
with the
it,
party
pet
that's
it, and
going
love
in
it, and
to
hold it.
actually talk to Waiton. Now, as you guys are going up the lift together, Honey, your character is absolutely enamored by the technology that's going on here. Now, you have got the lift working a couple times, or no, one time, to get you guys, instead of having to walk this incredible amount of stairs, you actually got a
Mm.
lift working with your skill, right? But this one is way fancier, and it's amazing technology. Where's the power coming from? You're fascinated, and you're kind of looking around, and the little halfling kid seems to be very nervous with you touching things. Um, but he keeps his attitude because he's a worker, or maybe a slave. You guys haven't really learned how to identify that yet. And you come to the 12th floor. Now, on the 12th floor, you come into a large lobby room. It's nowhere near as tall as the first one, of course. And there are hallways going off in various directions into rooms. Now, you haven't seen the lower stuff, but you're assuming that these are larger because they are. And you follow the little halfling page, and he takes you to a room. The room is 1207.
Hmm.
And it's got a beautiful wooden work door here. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's no carpenter here to appreciate it, but it is a very nice door. And the page reaches up, and he just can't reach that knocker.
I'll kind of like sort of like hit the knocker like he just made it, like he's trying to get it with his hands. So I'll just kind of flip it a couple of times so he can feel like he just got it.
Yes, and he nods his head at you, and you guys wait a minute, and the door is open, and as the door opens, you see this. I don't have a picture for her, but stunning woman, stunning. She's very pale of skin, red haired though,
Hmm.
and she is in a nightgown that is, well, let's say translucent,
Hmm.
and she doesn't care. And her attitude is the same. It's like she's looking at the page, not at you guys, by the way. And she's like, "Yeah, what do you want?" And the page says, "Visitors for Master Waiton, ma'am." And she looks up at you and says, "What do you people want?"
I would speak with Lord Wayton if he were here.
And then she's a bit oblivious. It looks like it's been a long night. But then she notices your amulets. And she's, yeah, please come, please come in. And she stands aside and starts trying to, you know, straighten her nightgown and her mussed hair.
Look a little respectable. Thank you. I'm sorry to be of some trouble.
No problem, Justicar. So you guys enter in, and this is a lavish place. It's biggish, but not crazy. It's kind of like if you ever been to an apartment that's a little bigger than you would expect it to be. It's like that, right?
Right.
Not some gigantic penthouse or anything like that, but it is an apartment, meaning there are cooking areas and lounging areas and resting areas and bathing areas and stuff like that. And it is quite beautiful, although you can't quite place the decor. It's all kind of dark but not demonic.
Oh, I see. So kind of gothic, maybe?
Yeah, kind of gothic. The
A
building
little heavier
downstairs
than
is
yours.
very baroque in its
Hmm.
style, but this room is more gothic. Yeah, that's a way to look at it. And she kind of shuffles in ahead of you guys. The page is waiting outside probably, or maybe he just leaves. And you come in and you see there are in the lounging area, the living room, basically, there are people sprawled all over the place in various states of drunkenness. Some of them are unconscious, some of them are in their own vomit, some of them are somewhat awake and sitting at the back. With a very very fancy silk robe on, but it's completely open and his nudity is there for all to see. You see a unconscious sleeping Waiton.
Oh
Hmm.
dear. My goodness.
Mhm.
Should I come back in the morning?
This is the morning.
Yep.
That's
You
my
go grab
point.
some breakfast and come back at
Yeah.
2.
You girls have never been to Vegas, huh? All right.
This is the night before.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the
This is
morning
from the
after.
night before.
This imagery is coming from personal experience.
I,
So which one was Chester then? Just laying there in the silken robe, unconscious?
Well, I don't vomit. Oh, I have twice. No, three times. No, yeah, three times. But no, I'm not the vomit one.
hmm.
That's not me. I'm probably the one that because when I party too much, I can't keep my left leg from moving. It moves.
Oh,
It just kind of goes back and forth for some reason. So
like
usually I'm the guy that has some girl laying on top of me because she's annoyed by my twitching leg, and she may not be clothed. That's
oh
me.
no.
Yeah, that's me. But
Depends on the
anyway,
occasion.
yeah, it depends on the occasion. But Wetton is there in a very plush-looking chair. It's a matter of fact, a lot of things in this room are of a nature that you're not used to seeing. No, the debauchery as well, because
Mhm.
the some of the guys like Badger's with you, he's seen this kind of stuff because he lives at Wonderland. But the furnishing and stuff it's just not it's not what you grew up with. To be fair, a lot of the things you're going to see in the inn here, particularly in any place you run into the Death Speakers, seems very modern, like
Oh,
our era of furnishing, right?
oh, really?
Yeah.
Hmm. Because they have from a much older culture.
Or at least far more advanced culture. Yeah,
Advanced, yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting.
but look at the way they're dressed, right?
He
Right, it
pulls out
is.
his iPhone.
I know, right?
Well, I
So,
mean, you know what I mean. It's still got
mhm.
the
Yeah.
high fantasy touch to it, but these guys are far more modern. Think of the late 18th century, early 19th century, roaring 20s type of stuff. It's kind of got that kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm wondering. I kind of whisper, should I make him one of my endless mugs of coffee? He might need it.
Yeah,
You
well,
can
I
keep
don't
in
know if you
mind.
guys
Maybe
have
we should
discovered coffee yet, but all right.
maybe we should clear the room.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
this is the perfect moment, Badger, for a RoboCop line.
Mhm.
It is. But instead, I'm going to start searching some pockets.
Yeah,
Gosh
no,
darn
that's
it!
what
I
you should
can't
do.
help.
Yeah. Now that is one of the greatest lines in movie history, by the way.
What?
Bitches
Oh,
out. That was so cool, dude. You remember the first time you saw that movie?
Yeah,
Just
I was
the
pretty.
I
absolute
remember it.
authority of that guy when he walked into the room. It was perfect, dude. That actor's great. He's in a lot of good stuff. But anyway, yes, Badger should be doing this. So Badger, do your badgery thing. So what are you looking at? Picking pockets, looking for secret doors, looking for safes, or going to other rooms. I mean, the only person that's really truly conscious is that girl, and it looks like you literally woke her with your knocking.
Okay. I whisper to her, "Is like, you should probably leave right now before things get ugly. I'll do you a favor because I like the cut of your nightgown."
Jim?
Yeah. She's a smoke show dude, but she's probably working. To be fair. She is a
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
smoke show. She said, "Yes, Jessica," and you see her grab a little haversack on the side of one of these sofas, and then she comes back and gets her shoes, and
Those were
And
cute shoes.
those are nice
well,
shoes.
now I think, gosh, I wish someone had a sleep spell, but instead
I
we're gonna
do.
do
A what?
yeah. You're not here though.
Yeah,
A
but
soup?
there's one
Yeah.
or two people in this room that would
Sleep.
suck all of that up on you, though. Puffin.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. I want to.
You are
Man,
sneaky.
the idea was to try and find a journal or something.
Yep, that was the idea.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with that.
Okay, so you're searching for some, you're investigating. Okay, we're gonna get to that. Amy, unless you want to say something to her, Badger. Amy and Puffin, you guys are no, Puffin's not. Amy and
Oh,
um
but I do
Melissa.
and
tell the.
Honey are
I
in the
do
room.
tell. I did want to let Amy and Honey know. Is like, let's give me just a few minutes before we rouse anyone, so that I can investigate. Let's keep it. For
I
a
mean,
minute.
I hate to disturb anyone if they're not feeling well.
Yes, that's it.
Wow,
Let's just
wow,
Wow.
now.
wow.
Yes.
That's perfect.
Don't forget
It's perfect.
this is fantastic.
Okay.
Aw.
Now, honey, you've noticed that there is a kitchen area here. Now, you of course know what a kitchen looks like. You guys
Sure.
usually have a hard stone or a metal hearth, usually on a counter. And depending on the wealth of the people, it's either going to be like a magic heating stone, or it's just going to be a place where fire is built. Mothers do it every day in the house. So you're kind of used to the old colonial style of a kitchen. This one is fully automatic, and you're checking it out, and you don't see any magical application at all. It's completely mechanical.
Even the heating mechanism?
The heating mechanism seems to be some manner of gas.
Ooh,
Hmm.
that's intriguing. It's like, oh, I kind of I sort of like slip out. I'm like, I'm not. I realize that we're in a delicate situation, so I'm trying to be discreet, but also like no one's going to talk to me about anything, or I'm not going to have a lot of diplomatic power. So I kind of pull out a little
Well,
notebook and
it's
start
not your character.
kind of
You're the
yeah, it's
builder.
not my character.
Yeah. But
So I'm just
you,
like
yeah, notes. You're taking notes. Yes,
I'm taking
you
notes.
are.
It's
Yes.
not apparently emitting gas, is it?
Well, she's
Probably
figuring
not.
that out. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But we'll get back to you. Amy's chilling out because these people feel bad. So, Badger, investigation.
Okay. This be an investigation roll or yeah.
Yeah, investigation. That's what you're doing. You're investigating. And I don't think they have search anymore.
No,
No,
it would be under investigation.
They took away
Perception's
search.
more of a general thing, and then investigation's more like specific if you're looking for
Well, that's
specific
what you're
things.
doing. You're searching. So, yeah, just give me an
Yeah,
investigation.
yeah.
Well, I'm wondering now. Would I use my?
Can I
gloves
give
for
an
this?
investigation?
You are
You're not there.
downstairs looking at a weird gnome and a strange tater.
Oh, I'm looking at a tater.
Yeah,
So I can do
I offered you to come up, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I'll wait
Yeah.
for my turn, and then I'll.
Yeah, I'm going to get
Well,
back
and
to
the
you
reason,
guys.
yeah, my investigations aren't that
Well,
good.
that's
I'm
okay.
more
Just
of
give me a roll, dude. You're not obstructed, right? Oh, yeah. Okay.
a 6.
You can try and get one of your people that are up there, like have one of them help you, assist you in your investigating.
It wouldn't have
That'll
helped.
That's
give you
true.
advantage.
Would not have helped. But the good thing for him though is what he's looking for is actually not hidden. So, it failed
So
roll,
what do
but
you roll?
so if there are any secret things, you haven't found it. However, you do go into a bedroom and it's quite lavish. You've never seen a bedroom like this before. It's as big as in some people's entire houses. And it's incredibly lavish. The bed is huge. You know what silk is, but you didn't know it came in such large swaths. Because
Hmm.
the bed is covered in multiple layers of it. But you're looking around and sitting right there on the bedstand, you see a journal.
Okay. All right. I'll put on my gloves of thievery and also just make sure there's that nothing is trapped, no lockets on there, any pressure plates, that kind of thing.
Um,
And,
no, it's just sitting there.
okay.
Okay.
Well,
And
I'll
yeah, go ahead.
open it up. I'll
All right.
open it up.
The handwriting is meticulous and quite beautiful, to be fair. And there are many pages that have actually very high-end artistic drawings, pencil drawings. This person is very skilled. And you're flipping through it, and you see all kind of weird stuff that you don't understand because the entire thing is written in Draconic.
Hmm.
Draconic?
Yes,
Well,
the arcane language.
I know that Honey
And Tater.
Livesay speaks that. Well,
Mhm.
if I don't have to steal this, I know this is weird, but I don't want to have to tip them off yet that what we're doing has ulterior motives. So I'll
Let's tell him it's a noise complaint.
we're here for our noise complaint. Yes. We're going to tell them what we're here for, but I don't think we need to rob them yet.
So what are you going to
Yeah.
do with the book?
I'm bringing it to Livesay,
Yep.
and just quietly whispering is like, "Can you read this? Can you check for any entries? Maybe go back a couple months to see when."
I could
What's
probably
her
make
face
some
was-
like image recordings of the pages. Yes.
Oh, excellent.
That's right. You have that thing you were using, yeah. But also, in this case, what you're going to do, honey, is you're going to use your research skill, which you have.
Oh, neat. Okay.
If
Research.
if I'm going to stay close to you, and if this guy starts to rouse, I'll swipe the book. Okay.
I'm pretty sure that would also fall under investigation.
Yeah, but she specifically has research.
Oh,
Being an artificer,
okay.
she has that.
Then that would be something she's likely to have no advantage. That's not what it's called.
Well, I don't
It's
know.
They probably.
What is
I
your I know artificers have research. I know they have it.
that's. I don't think that's an actual like feature
right.
in
Am I
fifth
third
edition.
editioning it again?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
All
think a
those
lot of
rules-
different stuff got all put under the umbrella of investigation.
Okay, so make an investigation roll with advantage, please.
With advantage. Okay.
and then add your intelligence modifier and proficiency.
Intelligence modifier with 7.
And your proficiency.
And my proficiency.
Well,
So
your
Well,
It's
proficiency.
you
painful,
probably
isn't it,
don't
Justin?
have proficiency investigate. You probably don't, but you would
Oh.
have research. So just assume you have proficiency. So intelligent modifier, proficiency number, and roll with advantage, which is a little
10
button you click.
yeah, it's
plus 10.
Well, I'm pretty sure it'd be a
Research
plus 8. Yeah, because she's got 20 intelligence and plus
so
3 for proficiency
Plus
bonus.
8 with advantage. Go for it.
8. Are you sure?
Oh, that's right. I have expertise. That's why I was
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, she probably doesn't have that. Oh yeah, no
Okay.
problem. All right.
22.
So, you're flipping through looking for relevant information. You're looking for Princess Belith information, and you hone in on it very well. The last entry he has for Belith is a little over 3 months ago. Is the last time he talked to her. And it says, met with Belith today. She was moaning and whining about some kind of failures going on with some machination in Iron Pass, something about a hag. And she then enjoyed some of his. He had some special crystal from the homeland came in, and she enjoyed that, and they got very high and enjoyed 2 evenings of sexual endeavors.
Debauchery.
Debauchery.
That's what you find.
Okay, so no additional information.
There's
Yeah.
plenty going back years, but it's not pertinent.
Yeah.
Just
That's
more of the
I mean-
same. Seems to be very similar to her. But once again, you look at him; he's got black hair, so he's one of the living ones, not the dead ones.
Mm.
But
Well, let's fix that.
they seem they seem to have had an on again, off again type of. They basically just do drugs together and have sex. It's about the extent of it. But she seems to trust him because they went to school together. They are classmates.
I was hoping to find any hatred about that the guy may harbor against
The Lord so and so.
Baron?
Fedskith. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
there's no mention of him whatsoever. Although as you're kind of going through and using this is a high roll, your skilled looking for Belith entries and stuff, you're just kind of going through it because everyone here is unconscious, so you have as much time as you want, really, as far as what this would take. And you do find a couple of other entries that are interesting to you. he seems a couple of points that seem to be interesting. He seems a bit jealous. He would rather her be his one and only, but she ain't
Aw.
interested in that whatsoever. For one, and two, he finds it irksome because he's a noble, right? Just like she is. He finds it irksome that she constantly wants to dye her hair white. Can't she wait?
Oh.
Oh, she's still alive.
Hmm.
Oh wow. She's still alive.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we kind of gathered that, but yeah.
Yeah, well, it's just
Well,
confirmation, right?
Yeah.
She-
Okay.
because a lot of people aren't necessarily.
Yeah.
Um,
But the Baron's probably not his service wife.
and she was involved with the hag at Iron Pass.
The hag
He
was
said
her.
that a hag or something.
A hag or something, yeah.
Just imagine he's one of those soy boy college kids. That's what he sounds like.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, effeminate, kind of gay. You know.
Mm,
So, yeah.
okay.
All right.
Well,
So
that's some
you gathered that
information.
information. I'm assuming you give the book back to Badger. Badger, you put it back where it was placed perfectly because you know you're good at that. And now you three are standing in the room with these debauched, unconscious young people. What are you gonna do?
I mean, I think we should, if we want to talk to them, we should probably come back when they're feeling better.
Or, you can utilize their state of disorientation against them too.
Yeah, let
Yeah,
Badger
that's-
handle this one. I think.
Yeah.
Mm. Well,
Is there anything else we need to know or want to know?
A lot.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
we want to know where she is, so we need to
But we don't
clear
know if
the
what he
room.
knows. Yeah.
he may or may
Well,
not know.
Can you
I
like
just-
feel his drunkenness?
Okay. Whilst you guys are, deciding what you want to do, because you do have time. You do have time. Tater, we have outside. We have Tater, and Tater is, scanning with his thing. He's actually got because there's open balconies, and he got this thing flying around on the inside. He can't go to the top, but he's flying around in here. And Tater sees two people that surprise him for being there. And of course, we have the gnome and we have the cleric are with him. First things first, you see your stepmother.
Oh,
what?
This is where she's at, huh?
this is surprising.
It is because you don't know what your mother and your sister get up to. You don't see your sister offhand, but you do see your mother, and she is heavily flirting with one of these death speakers. And she's being, you never seen your mother like that. She's usually very, curmudgeony, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she seems to be having a great old time. She's happy. Yes, the duck is here. And she's being very flirtatious with this guy. He's one of the living ones. He's got black hair. And he's holding her hand as they chat, and she's being all very ladylike, as far as, a feminine woman that is flirting. You see that. But another thing you see, and this is in this is actually in the food court area, but you're actually in the food court now with the imp, and you see another person off to the side that is laughing quite uproariously. And seem to be having a great old time with himself. But once again, you're kind of surprised to see someone you know here, although you're not completely shocked that he would be here. But we do have Thunder Rock.
Yes. Perfect. I like.
Ooh.
I don't know how he found the time. This is quite a journey from where we're from. So
You haven't been home
it's
in
like-
quite a while.
we haven't. That's true.
But
So
both
I'm
of them,
yeah.
they're not doing any kind of clandestine meetings or nothing. They just seem to be enjoying company. Now he's sitting with talk to a bunch of ladies of different types. They're not necessarily death speakers. But
Mhm.
he's and he's the center of the show over in that area for sure. But that is less interesting to you than your mother.
That's true.
'Cause
Um.
what is she doing here? Um,
Uh.
because keep in mind, you guys know when you're growing up as kids in Iron Pass, you've certainly heard of the underground city, and you've heard all kind of stories and rumors, but you don't know much about it,
mm,
right? But
Yeah.
certainly
And
not that Craig Mora was a thing.
and I was under the impression that she went back to the capital.
Yes, to the west, but clearly she's in the east.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
She
my
betrayed
closet
her.
is invisible, and it's gonna get in close enough to hear if it can.
Yes. Now, the only other thing interested I'll get to, and this is going to be this will be the last thing you see, and by the time the party comes back to you, okay. But I'll go ahead and get
Okay.
it out now, since I'll go see what decisions they come up with. You do find your sister, your stepsister, of course, but she is in a different area. You can't get above the 12th floor, right? But the imp's kind of going around and doesn't have any trouble moving around. No one's aware of it. There's no, super mages that can see it or anything like that. And you're just peeping in and out of all kind of places. And you find an area that's on the 10th floor, and it's like a Roman bath sauna type of place. And even though it's pretty early in the morning, there's some people are just bathing. There's some people getting a masseuse, but there's also an area, a steam, kind of like a steam bath area, where people are just having sex, and you find your sister in
Oh.
there having a good old
A
time,
noble woman.
a good old time,
Gasp, I say.
and she's with Deathspeakers, by the way.
Oh. You say that plural. Okay.
I
Ew.
did. I'm glad you
I
caught
love
that
that
grammatic
you
point.
All right.
just out of nowhere. You.
Well then.
Gee, when you need a photographer, huh?
Oh,
When you need mental Brillo pad.
Well, no,
Okay.
this is a bit of a turn.
This is a
Back
turn.
to the 12th floor luxury room with all the drunken, debauched people. What are you
Who
guys
do I
doing?
recognize in here?
Nobody.
Okay, good.
Honestly,
Just
there's
gonna-
no reason for Ron Thunder Rock, Cock Rock to be here. But I just thought it was funny. So,
But you know what? It
Oh,
makes a
that
lot of
guy.
sense,
Okay.
Chester, because I just finished my last downtime training for my resilience. So him being here is perfect.
it is perfect.
And me too,
It
because we
is
were doing it
perfect.
at the same time.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and make sure
It
you
makes
guys keep up on those weekly rolls, right? That's you
Hmm.
got to do it yourself, but just make sure you keep up on that. But yeah, Thunder Rock being here doesn't mean anything. It's just he's enjoying your
Yeah, it's just
company.
for fun.
Yeah. But the fact that your mother and sister here is a revelation. However, back to Amy, Honey, and the Badger. What are you guys doing?
So let's say, can you use your little cannon to rouse up everybody with a thunder wave, and then we're gonna tell them that
You're
we're gonna
going
be
to
somewhat
damage them.
No, it's just gonna wake them up.
That's
I have
not how
way
that works.
more
That's
ways
not
of
how that
doing it.
works. Yeah,
Do you have a
And
trombone on that thing?
you could just speak loudly.
I
Ooh,
could.
I could
I
cast
could, but I
sonic
want to
screech.
be
he
scarier.
prefers to
bad.
carry a big stick.
You see,
Wait,
Pumpkin,
wait.
you would have been useful in here, dude.
He would have.
Well, you know what? I'm getting bored. I'm gonna just come up and be like, "Hey, the hell you guys doing up here?"
You have no clue where they are.
You don't know where we are, puppy.
Yeah, you should
Meta
have come
magic.
up. But that's
Um,
okay. Yeah, those two idiots need protection anyway, so good on you. But
Yeah.
all right. So you loudly
Okay.
awaken the room. Who does it
Well,
though? That's the interesting thing.
I can do it. But
Okay.
I'm gonna before I do it, I'm gonna let my partners know that we're gonna rouse the room. We're gonna excitedly usher out all these people, okay, and then we're gonna have a conversation with Wetton, and tell him how displeased the prince is, and that he wants his sister back, and he's now at the point of forceful action. And since the prince knows of their relationship, it'd be best if he got on the right side before things happen to him.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, you rousing the room makes perfect sense. Amy rousing the room makes even more sense. Honey, not
Sure.
really.
Well, I mean, if she had a gadget, that would be like,
She can
is
point
what
her
I
gun
thought.
at people. That's
She's
good.
got a megaphone.
Yeah.
She fire her gun into the air, it'll kill someone on the
Go,
13th
gadget,
floor.
go. Da-da-da-da,
So,
Yeah,
Um,
she's got
all
like
right.
her options are like a flamethrower, a
Yeah,
ranged ballista.
yeah. Death.
Yeah,
Basically
yeah.
death. All
yes.
right. So I got to move it
Well,
around. We're
then
coming up on time
both,
here.
yeah, both
So
Amy and I will do that. Then
all
we'll
right.
rouse the people. Then just do what I explained, more
Right.
or
You
less.
rouse the room, and of course everyone's disoriented, but you and Amy are well fitted to do this. You're able to shuffle them all out. Some of them are complaining, other of them are in fear, but of course they all, at either in the beginning or shortly after, see the amulets of the Justicars and follow your orders quite quickly. Now, Wetton himself is of course is Wake as well, and he's looking at you and completely terrified.
Wetting himself.
Mm-hmm.
That's just
See how long I
just
waited for
where we
that
want
joke?
them.
See how long? That's what's called
Yeah.
patience, GOP.
Yeah.
It's a virtue.
All
It
right.
is.
Yeah. And he is wet in himself. So, but he's very scared. This is very effeminate, soft soy boy type of guy. So,
I'll
So,
who
use.
is going to do the intimidation or persuasion?
oh, hold on
I'll
a
do it.
second. One
You're not
second.
there.
You're
I
not.
know.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I know I'm not there, but just so you know, Chester,
Oh.
I had the suggestion of throwing him out the window and casting slow fall before he hit the ground.
Oh, that would be yeah. Too bad you're not here.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I could do that, and I would just forget that
Or we
I don't
could
have
have someone do
spells.
Tears in the Rain thing, you know. But whatever.
Time to die.
Yeah, I couldn't resist
I'm gonna
that.
cast the
Rock and
spell
roll.
Brain Spiders on him.
I don't think you need to do any of that. So, who
Okay.
is going to be rolling persuasion or intimidation? And the other, of course, will be assisting. Who
Well,
is the one that
I,
has intimidation or persuasion? Which one of you? Amy
I
I
have a
or Badger?
Amy.
I
six
have
on intimidation.
Okay.
Easy.
I have persuasion.
I know you do because you're a paladin. You're
Right.
probably the one to talk to him in this situation. What is
So
your
you can go
bonuses?
first.
Well,
All
you
right.
would assist her, is what you'll do.
Okay.
What are
So
your
that
bonuses for persuasion, please, Amy?
My bonuses for persuasion would be +5, +3, and plus another
So
5.
just give me a total, please.
13.
What? All right, fine. So
Am I
and
you're
then
yeah. So Bill, go ahead and give me a roll for support, and let's see if you make it. What is the support? 14 or something like that?
no, it just gives
It's
her an
advantage.
advantage.
am I
Oh,
She
it
rolls
gives
that
her
advantage.
advantage. Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
the third edition is better. Anyway, Amy, go
Is
ahead
it?
and make your roll with advantage.
Oh, all right. So that means I hit.
2 20s plus 13.
No, that's advantage. Here it is.
Yeah,
That
press
means
the
you hit it
button.
twice.
Just press the
Yes.
advantage button.
Yep.
Yeah.
Press. It's right there. So there's a 10, and then there is. Oh no, that's right. It's numbers for and 3 and advantage. Okay, and let's see if it works.
Okay. Ooh, yeah, certainly plenty
Ooh.
enough. All right. So, because this
My
guy is
goodness.
just some, dull-minded noble, right?
Right.
He's not
Mhm.
some elite guy you're dealing with. He's not.
Mhm.
He's probably first level something. But nevertheless, he's a lord. And you have his full 100% attention. He's really kind of scared of that big guy behind you, or that little guy that looks big, or whatever Badger looks like.
I'm stepping on a stool.
Yeah, that's fine. And but he's looking at the lady who seems to be he actually almost wants to smile at you, and then knows better because he has seen the Justicar amulets as well. And he said, yes, ma'am. What can I do for you, ma'am?
Oh, sorry to intrude like this so suddenly, but I was hoping you could help me with an issue that we're having.
Certainly.
All right. Well, I'm here to look for a young lady, and her family's very worried about her, and I've been told that she's a friend of yours.
Um, that doesn't narrow it down, ma'am.
No, I see you're very popular. She's the princess?
Belith.
Ballad?
Belly. Yeah. What do you need to know about her?
Well, we're hoping you might be able to help us find where she might be so we can go talk to her.
Um, I haven't seen her in a while.
Has it been? I see.
I, my friend here is very polite, as you could tell, but trust me, we do have full authority, and your spine will disappear momentarily if we decide that you
Um,
displease us.
yeah, yes, sir. I saw her about 3 months ago.
Where is she? Is the question, not when did you see her last. Thank you.
Sh-
I I
Are
I I I don't know where she is. She's somewhere in the upper city.
all right.
She's with that Baron.
Do you know much about him? I'm afraid I haven't heard much of about him.
His family's old money.
Oh, I see. Hmm. Well, I don't suppose we can talk to him. Has he gone missing too?
I don't know anything about him. He's just an old craggedy man. I don't know what she's interested in for. I'm young and beautiful.
Right. Well,
That's not going to be the case here in a little bit because you are
Oh,
very
yes, sir. Yeah,
displeasing.
well, I'm trying my best, sir.
No, I don't think you are.
I'm sure that he is.
I saw her 3 months ago. She's somewhere in the upper city. They're up to something with some hag in some stupid city to the west, some little town, Iron Bucket. I don't know something. They're doing something. They want to. I don't know. She's always trying to make money and do business. She's not good at it. She should just be happy being a rich girl. I don't know what she's doing. But she's doing something with some. I mean, why would you deal with a hag? They're disgusting creatures.
I know. Did she mention very much about the hag, or if they're currently doing anything, or if they've split ways?
She never gives me details. She just says this or that and does her thing.
So, how hard is it going to be for you to go and find her? How long will that take you?
I have no idea where she. I'm not going into
I'm
the upper
sorry.
city.
Oh, I think you are.
No,
I think you might have some friends who'd go up there, wouldn't they?
no,
Do
I
you?
don't. I don't have anything to do with that stuff. I don't know anything about that. Or I don't know violence.
Okay. Well, then maybe you can come with us instead.
No. That's not. That's certainly not necessary,
You
Justicar.
want to say
I
it's nice. This is a nice place you have here. You need to say goodbye to your things.
No,
No,
no, no.
it's
I will petition the Justicars. I will. I have that right.
That's fine.
yes, of
He
course.
actually standing up a little bit.
Well,
You
then I will use
excuse,
my intimidation roll. Oh, sorry,
excuse me.
Michael. Fine.
Do we really need to go like it this way? I'm afraid he wouldn't. No offense, of course you understand, but I feel like if we were to try to take him with us through the northern city, he might be more um challenging to
That's
escort. Maybe.
No, I was just trying to get him to do
Yeah, I know what you're trying to do,
with
trying to
his
scare
life.
him. Um,
Yeah.
the problem with it is, he
Hmm?
doesn't know
He
anything
doesn't
more.
know anything.
Yeah.
So he's mostly a dead end. I think the other
Well,
options are probably
he gave you some
most.
very, very important information, actually.
Very important
That is true.
information.
Well, we're also here about the contraband that you have.
What?
Some of
What?
those
What contraband?
There's nothing.
the magic items that you weren't supposed to have.
What?
I don't have anything like that. Besides, I am a. And he almost says something, and then he catches himself. I'm done with this conversation. I have my rights. Take me to court if that's what you want to do.
That's okay. We'll just take this journal that you gave us with all the information we already need about you.
Well, you don't need but
It tells us everything we need to know. So let's hand those over.
fine. He gets up. He walks in his bedroom, picks up the journal, and gives it to you.
And
We'll be in touch.
That's all. That's all he's got, dude. I mean, there's drugs all over the place, but they're not illegal.
Yeah, you want drugs?
Where's
They're
the
not
magic
crack?
weapons? Does he have like a magic like portal or
This
even
guy?
like a
This guy.
pocket something?
No,
Yeah.
he doesn't.
Just a college boy.
What this is one of those nobles that he's a noble. Therefore, he kind of
Shit.
lives on that right. He's probably got some money. His family's got some money. He just comes up here and parties all day. That's all he does.
He has a magic grooming device
Yeah,
that vibrates.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, he got that. Yeah, he doesn't have
Does it
any.
have a
blades
magic,
on it.
Yeah,
magic manscaper?
he's just fear and loathing in Las Vegas, dude. That's what he is.
Yeah.
Okay. I just try it because I'm a badger.
Uh,
But-
you-
Yeah,
I-
no, I get it.
but he does give you the journal. I'm assuming you
Thank
guys
you.
leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for your help.
He's dejected.
Shall I send your friends back in?
Nah.
Well, they're
I
gone.
think they're just waiting outside.
He looks at you with this look of disgust, disdain, but fear as well.
Friends.
Okay.
You're so wonderfully naive, my dear.
So
Let's go.
you find yes, they are. Now, Honey has finished her notes on various things. Now, you could attempt to construct some of these things if you'd like down the road, but of course not now. But you guys meet back up in the courtyard. You see a gnome that is now licking the tree.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
She needs to remember.
schnozberries.
The
Yeah.
the
Really
mighty
need a
cleric is
licking
just
sound
looking at
effect.
her confused, and you see that a dejected tater is petting his invisible imp.
How's
Well,
the
it's
dog?
it's a closet, but yeah.
Okay,
That's fine.
well, what have you? And he's
Do you see
dejected.
something-
He's dejected. He's seen things.
Well,
What's
actually,
happening?
He's seen-
yeah.
he's seen things.
Some
No one stole the
Ro-
dog, right?
No,
No.
dog's fine.
No.
The dog is
Rowan.
happily panting at
I'm-
the gnome.
I would
What is
imagine
your-
the dog's licking the gnome.
Maybe.
What's wrong with Tater?
I don't know. What isn't wrong with him?
Look at him.
I just have
he
this.
looks like he's gonna
this
throw up.
disgusted look on my face. Also, I did say that I did want to get the closet closer to be able to hear that conversation earlier.
Well,
Whatever was being
that
said
would be
between
very
them.
difficult to organize.
Okay, fair
You
enough.
guys were kind of moving separately, right? It doesn't matter. Everyone's
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
share with everybody else anyway. Amy
No, the
was with him too.
conversation. The conversation his mom was having.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Mm.
What was going on with
Now,
her?
Amy, of course, is going to report to everyone exactly what happened because she's Amy. She's a paladin. Badger can't cheat this situation, which he would love to. But now the question is, of course, you can ask questions of everybody here. How much of your reconnaissance do you share with your childhood friends? Now, keep in mind, there is a guy over there fighting a fish, but he's not. He's not part of your childhood. So, how much do you share, Tater?
Well, before we go,
Well,
Tater
let one thing at a time. Let's
Yeah.
see. I want to see what he's going to share.
I don't share the information about what my stepsister is doing.
Fair.
But
We just
I'm
see an
like-
infograph of it.
no. I'm just like, my stepmother is here. And I'm just like,
And you all
just-
know about
Ah.
his various angst and difficulties throughout his childhood of that woman. You guys are well aware.
well,
My
I-
mouth gapes before I manage to catch it politely back and go, "Oh,
I
How
think
But
nice
he's already
is,
trying to looking for
Oh.
someone better. Okay.
this is a golden opportunity, my friend. You should not let it go to waste.
The Lord has already filed for divorce.
No, he
Um,
hasn't.
Oh, he hasn't?
No.
he's getting
I thought-
married, not being
I
divorced."
thought he did because that's why I'm a lord.
Because he announced that
No.
he's married.
There's no actual divorce happening.
Oh.
okay.
She simply has decided they've come to some agreement you guys are unaware of, where she is going to be permanently settling herself in the West, that he said. and maybe
Quote,
that's what
quote.
he knows. You don't know. But that's the arrangement. She's going away, and but yet she has access to the funds, right?
I see.
Okay.
And he, because she's, and which in a way makes her happy because she freaking hates Iron Pass, right? It's just some
Smart.
backwater. It's disgusting to her, and your sister's the same. Your brother loves Iron Pass. He's actually a pretty good governor,
Yeah.
type of guy. But whatever. And therefore, because she's no longer in court, nor is there any anticipation that she will return, he has elevated your mother to by his side. She's still a concubine, right? And therefore, you are also able to be acknowledged because that woman can't stand you.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
So no, there's no divorce. No.
Well, yeah, I let my party know that my mother and my sister are here, but once again, I don't really go into the details of what I saw. You know,
Yeah,
just
but
that.
that is very suspicious.
Yeah, yeah, I would say so. I would
How long has
definitely
she
say
been
so.
here?
I'm gonna stare at him. That's kind of suspicious, sir.
No idea.
Why don't you send, little pit fiend out there and have them spy on, listen in on them conversations.
I'm gonna do an insight check on Tater.
Okay.
To see if I'm
insight are you
keeping
trying
something.
to gain? Yeah.
I'm trying to see if
Yeah,
he
go ahead.
knows more than he's letting on.
Yeah, go ahead. Make
All
your
right.
roll.
I'm making a deception against it.
Yeah, no, go
That
ahead.
is the 20.
The
Non-natural.
battle ensues. All right.
All right, I should have. Let me
Finally
check.
a battle.
Oh,
Make sure.
Buffin's got a 20. Oh, it's
Oh
stiff.
no!
It's stiff.
All
It's
right.
stiff. It's stiff.
Let me do a.
Get all
Deception.
those clarity
Plus,
bonuses.
yeah, no, I've got a plus 11. All right.
Plus
Oh.
11.
Oh.
Yep.
Ooh.
Oh man!
Oh.
Oh!
Yeah.
Wait,
Now,
no,
Puffin.
wait. I've got a special thing I can do with my what is it? With my feature with my pact. I can add a plus 10 to any roll, like once per day. So I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it up.
Alrighty.
All
Go
right.
ahead. All
So
right.
that's 23.
Oh well. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So,
I cast double guidance on
Hey,
Puffin.
yeah, cast guidance on me. Let's roll.
Puffin,
I got it.
maybe.
We're right up. Right
But
at the
you
edge.
don't
Chart.
think it's important, though.
I'm
Alrighty.
gonna ask
So,
him straight up. Did you see your stepmother in a compromising position?
I don't really want to talk about what's going on with that. So we'll just say that it's very suspicious.
Can
You know
your
what?
closet emit foul odors? Can he just
okay.
follow her around and
let's
toot?
get back on track. Bill,
Yeah.
you were trying to say something.
Yeah. We have information. Let's go to our place and talk about it.
Okay. So we will pick that up next week. Perfect. Actually, I have 3 detective investigations that need to be done, and you finished one today. How nice! It's almost as if it was planned.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
All right.
So good. You've gained some very useful information, not necessarily to what the Death Speakers want, but to your cause. You've gained information.
Oh.
Now you understand. This is, of course, talking to our listeners. Now the party understands that the deal going on with Darragh the Hag is not with the Death Speakers directly. It's with a rogue girl and some mysterious baron. That's what the deal is. It's not the Death Speakers themselves that are interacting or interfering with the Iron Pass. That's
Can
very, very useful information. Yeah, go ahead.
That is.
Can I retroactively steal like some hard drugs to use them later for like a poison or something?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay.
It's this strange crystal. You don't know what it is. You'd have to find an alchemist
Okay.
to understand it. But nevertheless, it's like this crystal, and they seem to put it in a mortal and pestle and break it down into a powder.
Okay.
Okay. The crystals are
know-
about the size of a die before they put it in
Okay.
there.
So
The
if I
fact-
could get whatever I could get that's like Yeah, like a few
There's a
doses
bag
at
of it
one
right there
time.
you pick up. It's probably about, let's see, how would we calculate that? 3
D-
ounces.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
just like a D8 doses or something.
Mm-hmm. 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 What was that,
Why would
GOP?
No, I'm just gonna say, him being a necromancer, and I mean, he looks kind of vampiric in nature, right? But it's starting to make a lot more sense with all the
Undead.
elves. Yeah,
Wow, it's
Mm.
almost like
Yeah.
there was a plan.
I know, right?
It's weird.
It's all coming together.
All coming together.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, it was very specific. You were dealing that vampires were being created by a hag, which is kind of
Yep.
weird.
Which is
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Weird.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, we gained information that is useful for the overarching story. Now I'm having a lot of fun in this place. I'm enjoying the Iron Pass campaign. I know that we're going to run ourselves some one shots here or there, and Bill's going to take over sometime in the future. But of course, we're going to finish this story first. And there's a lot of stuff we can do in Iron Pass. I think this is rich. Not only can we do stuff here, we go to the east to where the Deathspeakers are, and of course, there is adventure in the grand cities of the West as well. But nevertheless, come back next week, and we will continue with either the skink or the dandelion. You never know; might be both. So,
Yeah, they hang out together.
no, they don't.
Oh, okay.
But depends on how quick you are. Hey, we got RT Bear over here. He's yelling at me. Yes, he said, Chester, what's up, my brother? Not much, dude. I am busy as you. I'm stupid busy. You know how I am, Art. I'm actually so stupid that I have actually, my friend, he's injured, so I'm helping him out, but I'm actually doing dynamite in the early mornings now as well. So, there you go.
Seems like you've been doing that for a year now.
Just
I
doing it,
know,
doing
but I haven't talked to
dynamite.
Art in quite a while. Because I used to be on Art's show. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. I even named it, I think.
Aw.
Yeah, but I can't. Art, of course, is a really cool guy, and he's always got some nice people over there. And of course, he's a legend in the comic book world. But I just don't have the time, dude. And I've added more not time, Art. So there it is.
Come on, D&Q sometime. We can draw with them.
No,
That
it
might
would
be
be
fun.
cool to have him come on, stop by Drone a Quarter. Yeah, that you should do that, Art. Come and stop and see us one time, over on Drone a Quarter. Everyone would be elated to see there. Matter of fact, I would even let you name the theme if you'd like, sir.
Ooh. Yeah.
Ooh.
Wouldn't you guys like to draw with Artie Bear?
Yes,
I would think
of
so.
course.
Yeah, that would be cool. It'd be nice. I haven't talked to you in a while as well. But nevertheless, we'll see you guys all next week. Everybody have yourselves a really good weekend, and later.
Later.
Bye
Goodbye.
bye.
Do, 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 do.